It's time for Twit This Week in Tech. Christina Warren, Dwight Silverman, and John C. Dvorak are here. We're going to talk about the Sony hack and Christina's amazing story about what really happened to the Jobs movie, plus information about Supreme Court decisions that could change the way you use Facebook, and a whole lot more. It's coming up. This Week in Tech is next.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for This Week in Tech is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and if you'd like to help us design our new website, I invite you to visit twit.to/navtest. We've got 8 quick questions we'd like to ask you that will help us make the navigation easier to use. That's twit.to/navtest. Thanks a lot. This is Twit This Week in Tech, episode 488, recorded December 14th, 2014. Second Life Wife. This Week in Tech is brought to you by GoToMeeting, the powerfully simple way to meet with coworkers and clients from the convenience of your computer, smartphone, or tablet. Share the same screen and see each other face-to-face with HD video conferencing. For a 30-day free trial, visit GoToMeeting.com right now. And by Casper, an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the price, because everyone deserves a great night's sleep. Get $50 off any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/twit and use the promo code TWIT. And by Stamps.com. Use Stamps.com to buy and print real U.S. postage the instant you need it right from your desk. For our special offer, go to Stamps.com now. Click on the microphone and enter TWIT. That's Stamps.com. Use the offer code TWIT. And by Personal Capital. With Personal Capital, you'll finally have all your financial life in one place and get a clear view of everything you own. Best of all, it's free. To sign up, go to personalcapital.com/twit. It's time for Twit This Week in Tech. We've got a great show for you, but before we do that, I want to take a look at a little video YouTube put out, the best of 2014. They call it YouTube Rewind. I think this is the 4th or 5th they've done. And it features a great number of YouTube celebrities, including DJ Earworm's Fabulous Mix and PewDiePie, who jumps through the ceiling and creates a crazy, crazy thing. I'm going to jump ahead, though, because if we go all the way into the mountains, we're going to see... Hey, I know... Wait a minute, I know that person. There's Justine in the mountains blowing glitter dust. This is actually an amazing video. Justine is on the line with us. Justine Ezarik. Hi, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I just wanted to talk a little bit about this before we got into the news portion of the show. I was so blown away by this.
Every year, they do such a good job. And this year, they actually have, like, I think over 120 creators in this video. They went all around the world to get creators, not only just from the U.S., but they try to incorporate as many as they could. And it's awesome.
And they used the YouTube spaces in New York, L.A., London, and Tokyo. Yeah. So in fact, I think there's 8 locations on this, 5 shooting days. Did they ever tell you how much they spent on this?
They didn't, but knowing how much production costs definitely was a pretty penny.
This is millions of dollars in this.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is all of these YouTube people, I mean, a lot of them are my friends too, and I know how busy they are. So for them to be able to get all of these people in one video is amazing. It's so impressive. This,
where you're blowing the dust, the fairy dust, looks like it's in the mountains in the Swiss Alps or something. But I'm guessing they didn't fly all of you to the Swiss Alps to do this Frozen thing.
Nope. We were in a parking lot downtown Los Angeles. It was like 100 degrees. Everybody is sweating.
No. It was hot?
It was so hot. Everyone was dying.
Oh, my goodness. So they made you wear a knit hat, a sweater, a scarf, and it's 100 degrees out.
Yeah, but I mean, it ended up turning out really awesome. It's just crazy because, like, we spent almost half a day, and I know even previously, like, the people have spent, like, days on these, and then you have, like, a 2-second cameo. Yeah. But that's, I mean, you guys know how production works. Oh, yeah. It's a whole hurry up.
But everybody's it. Conan O'Brien's in this. John Oliver's in this.
Yeah.
Why does YouTube do these rewinds?
That's a good question. I mean, I think they really like to kind of show the community in YouTube, and this is such a good way to kind of pull all of the trends together from the past year. And it's just a really fun video. So I think it really shows that they're willing to invest in creators, and they're doing a much better job of that in the past couple of years. So it's great. Although last year was my favorite because it was What Does the Fox Say?
Right.
So
were you in that one too?
I was. Yeah, I forget what I was doing. I think I was riding in a car with the guy who does the invisible drive-through pranks.
47 million views in the first week for this year's YouTube Rewind. So it's clearly something that people are interested in. I think part of the
ending part with the hamster was my favorite.
He's eating a little YouTube chiclet.
So cute. Have you seen those videos? It's like this whole series where this hamster eats tiny little miniature food, and it is the cutest thing ever.
I think that's also part of the value of this, and you see everybody's getting credit here. Part of the value of this is introducing some of these YouTube stars to a larger audience. I had to actually sit down with a 12-year-old and to find out who all these people are. And he knew at least half of them.
Yeah, I think I only knew half of them, which is so crazy because this community is so massive that even a lot of these YouTubers in other countries, I'm like, where did you come from? You have millions of subscribers, and I'm just now finding out about you. So it is a really cool way to kind of get caught up on all the cool stuff that's happening on YouTube.
It also, I think, establishes YouTube as more than just the viral video site or, the crotch shot video site. That these are all creators who are making content on a regular basis. They have a style, they have a voice, they have a name, and they're very successful as a result. Although the normal person like John C. Dvorak, you'd look at this and you go, I don't know who these. I love this guy.
I know all of them.
You know that guy?
Yeah.
Really? You look at him and you go, I know them.
Yeah, I've seen him before.
All right.
And I think
what you're overlooking is these guys are making money.
Are they making money? Justine, how lucrative is YouTube? I mean, almost everybody, like Michelle Phan, has to sell cosmetic kits and stuff. I mean, she makes her money in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard because, I mean, in YouTube, they do have sort of the partner program, and I mean, you'll get a percentage of your ad revenue, but sometimes ad revenue isn't always the best. So a lot of us do sponsored videos, we do other projects. Right. So it really is trying to find creative ways to have sort of that other revenue stream, but it is so much fun. And I love taking sponsored projects where it allows me to create bigger and better projects that I normally wouldn't be able to do without the help of sponsors. And And I mean, you guys know this is what we do, so it's great.
Well, and I think also if you see YouTube as a launching point and not an end point, but as part of a larger thing, then it makes more sense than if you're saying, I'm trying to make a living off of what I do on YouTube.
It is, and it takes a lot of time. I mean, I've been doing this forever, and I think
how many videos a day do you make?
I at least post one piece of content a day. I've been posting like daily gaming videos, and right now in December, they do this thing called Vlogmas, which you vlog every day until Christmas. So you put out a video every day until then. But it takes a lot of time, especially most of the YouTubers, they still do shoot and edit all of their own stuff.
Right.
So it's very time consuming.
A lot of these were shot at YouTube spaces, like the LA space, where our former producer, Eileen, is one of the producers there. How important are the? Yeah, we love Eileen. How important, Eileen Rivera? How important are these YouTube spaces to creators?
I think it's important because it does allow YouTube to be able to have a place where you can do meetings, you can have events, you can do premieres, and it kind of more or less validates it in the traditional space because most of the YouTubers, we shoot at home, we shoot wherever. So I wish they had this 5 or 6 years ago before I invested my entire life into buying equipment and computers. But it does definitely validate it, where it's these places all around the world that you're able to go. So no matter what city I'm in, if there's a YouTube space, you could just come in and shoot.
So you get a sense of community and being part of a larger community when you go to those YouTube spaces.
For sure, and I think it's really important in LA too, because to be able to rent out those studio spaces, and I mean they have full production suites and they have all kinds of stuff. You do have to go through a training program before you're able to actually use it. So there is that, but it's just a great place that if YouTube wants to film something, I mean they have it all right there at their disposal.
I tell you, when you look at something like this, you realize what a phenomenon YouTube has become.
It is. And the number one most viewed thing is gaming, which they did screw up because they didn't put enough actual
They missed out on Twitch.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of a little competitor.
Now it is. They could have bought it.
They could have. They definitely could have.
They should have bought it.
I mean, I'm not pointing fingers, but
Justine, I'll let you go. I thank you so much for being here. When I saw this and I saw you in it, I said, hey, we got to get Justine on and just talk a little bit about this. When you look at it, you realize, boy, they really put a lot of work into it. And
it's awesome.
What a
Well,
great
have a good
job.
rest of your show and happy holidays,
Justine.
everybody.
Happy holidays. Great to see you again.
You too.
Keep up the good work. YouTube.com/Justine.
iJustine.
YouTube.com/iJustine. That's one of like 80 channels.
I know. It's too much.
She's a very busy person. Thank Justine.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Now let me introduce the rest of the panel. Grumpy old John C. Dvorak is here.
Why don't you? I'm only grumpy because you took iJustine off the air.
I know.
You should've
I
kept
love
your hair.
her. Isn't she talented? Wonderful. You know, we discovered her. Actually, Alex Lindsay discovered her. I mean, she probably doesn't think
I
that.
think
She thinks she
well,
was known before we discovered her. But she was at a word camp, WordPress camp in Pittsburgh, and Alex Lindsay met her and said, "You're going to be a star." We had her on Mac Break all the time.
This is true.
And then she went on to bigger and better things. Yeah.
I thought that she predated Mac Break.
You'd
show.
think that, wouldn't you?
I'm pretty sure of it.
Well, I'm sure she was born before that. That's John C. Dvorak, noagendashow.com, channeldvorak.org. It's good to have you back. You didn't bring my camera back by any chance, did you?
You know, I brought it back last time I was here, and then I was going to bring it back, and I left it at the house.
Yeah, I heard it all before. Also, Christina Warren is here. Great to have Film Girl with us from Mashable. It's obviously freezing where you are because you're indoors and you're wearing a wool hat.
I am, because it's cold and my heat is not really working correctly. I've got to get the landlord out. So yeah, it's just one of those things where like I'm in a sweater and a hat. And if I had my wits about me, probably a scarf, but it's okay.
If you get chilly or your throat starts to, get a little scratchy, please go get that scarf and maybe a hot cup of tea.
I will.
I don't want you to get sick on us. Dwight Silverman is also here from his offices in Houston, where it is a balmy, 80 degrees?
It's in about the 70s here. It's a typical it's a typical Houston winter so far.
Dwight is at the Houston Chronicle, blog.cron.com/tech blog, and it's always great to have you on as well.
Thank you for having me, Leo. I'm excited.
Yay.
I love Christina. I'm a big fan of hers. I was particularly enamored of the piece she did about the Sony Pictures blowing the Steve Jobs film, and I can't wait to hear her talk about it today.
Let's talk about it right now. Because it is the story of the century. Sony Pictures Entertainment hacked, of course. No one knows who did it. Even though apparently there was some Korean in the virus code, the thought that North Korea did it as revenge for the Interview movie, it seems to me on the face of it
that's a stretch.
Not very credible, especially since these hashtag GOP people seem kind of independent. Should we put it that way? On their own.
I'm wondering. I think it's interesting to try to figure out who did it, but I know that they sent out did you see they made an announcement saying they're going to have a Christmas gift for everyone.
Oh dear. Well, apparently
that came out today.
They got into Sony so good that they got everything on every computer, every server, all the content of the emails, the deals, the contracts, everything. It's all been revealed, even movies on their server. And Christina's been one of the people who has been watching this really closely, and in fact, going through some of these materials, looking for stuff. How much stuff is there, Christina, so far?
So far, I guess about 250 gigabytes, I would say, has been released so far.
And you think there's more?
And yeah, there's definitely more. I mean, and they're releasing it pretty indiscriminately. They released some information today. They said a Christmas gift for everyone. I haven't had a chance to download that torrent yet and see what's in it. But no, I mean, basically for the last 2 weeks, they've been releasing stuff about every day, every other day or so. And it's been pretty indiscriminate. It started with some of the leaked films, and that got a lot of attention. Those were basically just screener copies, so they weren't even that great, but that got a lot of attention. And then what we saw with the first dump of documents was, oh wow, this is actually some really serious internal stuff. And then they've escalated, going from documents to deals to inboxes, and then the emails they've released so far have been, the Amy Pascal, the co-chairman of Sony Pictures, as well as someone in one of the heads of legal counsel's inbox, and just hundreds of gigs of documents. I mean, literally, thousands upon thousands of documents. Mostly Excel files, document files, some PDFs, and I mean, there's just so much. It's hard to really
wrap your mind around. And then, I mean, what's bad is they got in so deeply. I mean, they literally had lists of every single server, every single workstation, every single, virtual machine, everything on the premises, all of those devices, including their serial numbers, including their MAC addresses, were all listed. They had lists of every account that had sudo access. They had password files galore. I mean, they got in hard, and trying to sort through the material and figure out what's there has been a real challenge. And so a lot of us in the media are kind of going through it, and the emails have certainly had some of the most enlightening stuff, at least, for the public there, but there's all kinds of other stuff too. I mean, I've been talking to some former and current Sony employees. There's a secret Facebook group of about 3,500 people right now who are all freaked out because their social security numbers have been part of this. And people are worried about having their identity stolen, and what recourse are they going to have on that end. So, I mean, there's so much that it's kind of difficult to put into context, because this is the worst corporate hack ever. And it kind of, it's kind of like, the WikiLeaks, kind of like the Cablegate sort of thing, but for a corporation.
You know who I'd take a look at to see maybe the bad actor? Look for all the companies that made proposals to Sony about improving their security. That seems like the first,
and was ignored.
Yeah, and was ignored. And by the way, did you know David Boies is out there? That famous guy who was the attorney against Microsoft and all these other things. He's the Sony. He's taken over the Sony
Council.
Yeah, and he's threatening everybody, saying this is stolen material. You can't be reprinting
well,
it.
In fact, didn't the FBI arrest one person for downloading some of this material? Am I wrong?
No, I saw that. I saw something with that. I mean, and
Sony's been DDoSing the sites that host this material. Let me explain how
that's illegal.
Yeah, but they're doing it out of servers in Asia, so it's okay.
Yeah, sure.
How are they distributing this data? Is it a torrent link that they post to Pastebin? Is that what they're doing?
Basically, and they're also, they're using various file hosts, and they're getting taken down really quickly. The Pastebins are going down, within, hours, sometimes less than that. And
so the press is jumping on these links the minute they're publicized and downloading it as fast as they can.
Well, right, and then they're also emailing us. So, but the
hackers are emailing you directly?
Yes.
What do they say in those emails?
It just that has a link to the Pastebin and some of their, half English sort of stuff that.
So before they make it public, they send it to you so that you can get a copy.
No. They've been a little bit late, actually. It's funny because I think I was one of the first people to get the emails, and that was purely happenstance. It was on Monday. I just happened to go to Pastebin and search, and I found the emails. They'd been up for about 11 minutes, and we didn't get any sort of link from them, for another 3 or 4 hours.
What do you say to people who say it is as bad to look at this material as it is to look at the naked pictures of Jennifer Lawrence? It's as unethical to do that. You're complicit by looking at this material.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah, sure.
No, I mean, it's not even remotely the same thing. I mean, I understand why people have that. I understand why people can draw that conclusion, but first of all, I think it's a false equivalency to equate but corporate documents for public companies from private communications that are taking place on servers.
But it is stolen material.
Of course it is, but so are the Pentagon Papers, so is the NSA leaks.
Yeah,
so are most
wait a minute, you can't say that what this has anywhere near the import of the Pentagon Papers.
No, I'm not in any way at all. I'm in no way trying to equate the two. Let me be very clear. There's no equation.
So
what
does the public need to know this stuff from Sony then? There's no public need to know what James Franco got for being in the interview. That's gossip.
Well, I mean, it is gossip, but it's also, but it's the sort of information that if we were being completely honest, if someone were to email us the budget from that film and it were to come into my inbox and it weren't to be part of this thing, it would be stolen and it would still be news and it would still be something that the trade publications would publish. And most of the time, this is kind of the uncomfortable part about journalism. Andrew Wallenstein at Variety wrote a really good op-ed that I largely agree with that kind of says, we get stolen material all the time. That's kind of part of our job. People leak things to us, usually for their purposes, usually with their own agendas, and we have to go through and decide what's worthy and what's not. And in a case like this, there are FOIA requests, and obviously this is stolen, but a lot of times there are FOIA requests for information that was obtained illegally, that people go through and search for the most salacious or the most interesting tidbits. Now, you can make the argument that something like, the inside story of the Steve Jobs movie it might not be news. I would disagree. I think that it is news. I think it's interesting. I think that seeing the inner workings of how a major studio bungles a high-profile project is news. Whether it's the most newsworthy thing out there, of course not, but it is news. I also think that things such as salaries, things such as internal memos, and finding out information about things that might be going against what's being said publicly are interesting. And then you also have to kind of look through and figure out, are there things that are happening that might be bad? Some people have been looking into the potential pay gap within Sony for cross gender lines. I haven't actually seen any proof that exists in a conventional sense, but I mean, these are the things that are worth kind of looking into to find out. I've been getting from some sources that there was a lot of the layoffs that Sony made might have actually been tied to what employees were costing them the most in terms of their health insurance and in their health insurance program. That's something that we're looking into and trying to verify. These are real stories. And when you get this data, you go through it. Our job as journalists is to be responsible to the truth first and foremost, not to the individuals at Sony. And then the second responsibility, and I put, when I wrote my story, it's 6,000 words. I reached out to every person that was in it in advance. It's not as if they didn't get a heads up and they didn't know that it was coming. Second of all, there are things that you omit because when you're going through this stuff, at least me, I had certain lines where I said, if this is going to be communications between someone and their husband or wife, and it's going to be clearly personal in nature, it's not necessary to be part of this narrative. It's not necessary to be part of this story. So I understand the criticism, and
even Andrew Wallerstein.
I'm not saying that it doesn't feel gross.
Yeah, even Andrew Wallenstein, who is the co-editor in chief of Variety, says at the end of his op-ed piece, every reporter has fantasized about stumbling upon a treasure trove of secret documents. So when a story such as Sony is spread in front of us all in its unprecedented scope, it's instinctive for us to pounce. But this time around, acting on that reflex just doesn't feel right, even though it isn't wrong. He's conflicted.
Right. Exactly. Well, no, and I am too. It's not an easy thing to do. It's,
what I found interesting about your article?
Things that you feel uncomfortable, but that's kind of one of the traps of journalism.
One of the things I found interesting about your article is how much of what you report from the inside sources was already leaked by sites like Deadline. Exactly. It seems like Hollywood is a pretty leaky sieve anyway.
Well,
and they nailed it, by the way. In every case, Deadline and these other gossip columns got it exactly right.
And it was funny. My story was so long as it was, I wasn't able to make it into its own kind of narrative. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of even say was that it was funny. You could look at the date that emails were happening. You could look at the timestamp, and literally within hours, the story, sometimes within 45 minutes, there would be a story on Deadline or the Hollywood Reporter. There was clearly leaks happening from within the inside. And this happens all the time. So this is another reason why I'm saying in this case, I would never equate it to looking at nude photos of celebrities, because a lot of this information is being leaked willingly by the party anyway for their own benefit, for trying to influence things one way or another. I'm not saying that it can't be painful and that it can't be embarrassing and that this isn't devastating for the people who are involved, but this is also kind of part of the game with Hollywood where things are leaked. And that's kind of the case with business journalism too, where we leak things. That's kind of what we do. That's kind of, part of our role in the press is we get information, we vet it, and we publish it. And the fact that this information was obtained illegally, while awful that this, illegal act happened, does not mean that it's unethical according to any journalistic guidelines or anything else for us to go through them. In fact, on the contrary, the amount of legal precedent involved in saying that obtaining publishing stuff from stolen documents is absolutely legal and absolutely ethical according to almost every single journalistic guideline out there.
Really?
That doesn't mean that people can't be that doesn't mean people can't be grossed out about it, and that can't mean that reporters can't feel conflicted.
I'm not absolutely sure that's correct, but I think there's something we're overlooking here. First of all, this stuff is so banal. Who cares? Who cares whether James Franco got a free ride in a limo or any of these things? It's so mundane. And
there is some journalistically important stuff in here, cases of sexual harassment that were buried by Sony.
Well, that's okay. That's kind of interesting, and I think that should be taken up with the legal operation or the people who were affected by it. But it seems to me that this is not that interesting.
Well, I beg to differ. How many hits did you get on your article, Christina?
I mean, we've had a lot. I mean, I think that.
Well, no, I'm not
It's a
saying
traffic generator.
Well, yeah, well, any gossip stuff will be that way, but still, it's banal. I mean, it's
Well, that doesn't make
it's only
any
it's
sense.
like well, it's like a traffic wreck. Oh, let's stop and check it out.
Right.
I don't know. This whole thing seems to be what I think people should be more focused on is the outrageous amount of stuff that is on their servers that shouldn't be on their servers.
Unprotected.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous
And-
how cavalier these
Agreed.
guys were.
And-
That to me is the issue, not that somebody's gotten was a sexual harasser at some place in Hollywood. That never happens.
We talked a little bit on security now about this, and one thing I think even Steve Gibson, who is a security guru, and kind of lives by the notion that it's possible to secure stuff. Otherwise, why be a security expert? Even he said there's very few companies that wouldn't be vulnerable to this kind of attack, that wouldn't have this kind of stuff unencrypted on their servers. This is probably, and certainly no motion picture company. The problem is that in order to get business done, you have to kind of, to be fully secure, you need to silo stuff and encrypt stuff and limit access to stuff. But to get business done, you need to kind of almost do the opposite. People need to be able to freely speak in emails. They need to be able to see stuff. Spreadsheets need to be shared. And so there is this kind of mismatch between the needs of high-end
Make it
security.
sound as though Hollywood couldn't get any business done before the internet and before all these servers were there.
Well, it's interesting because apparently one of the responses to this is no more emails, nothing in writing. They're doing everything by phone calls going forward.
The olden days.
And imagine if you were a producer, a director, an actor who was considering a contract with Sony. Wouldn't you think twice now about that?
Depends on how much
I might
money
not
was
want to trust
involved.
them
I
with
don't
my
know.
information. Dwight?
It depends on
Leo,
what it was.
Mashable has just published 9 minutes ago a piece in which Sony Pictures has sent a letter to several media outlets demanding that they delete troves of emails delivered by hackers. I presume Christina has gotten some of those, and and that they are essentially sounds like they're threatening you. I'm curious, Christina, you mentioned that you're getting emails from the hackers. Have you, by any chance, heard from law enforcement about we'd like to talk to you, young lady?
Oh, we lost Christina at a very
the FBI just
moment.
cut her off.
Pivotal moment right there.
All right, we're going to get her back. There's a whole lot to this story that I think is of newsworthiness. For instance, Sony and the Motion Picture Association of America created something, and we learned this from these documents, called Project Goliath, in which they were going after, Goliath is Google in this case, the code name for Google. They talk about the problems created by Goliath and worry, what would Goliath do if we went on attack? One of the things the Motion Picture Association of America and the studios continually believe is that Google's search enables piracy. They would love to get Google to stop linking to BitTorrent sites and things like that.
This is search's search.
And they even talked about, well, I agree with you. They even talked about ways to actually block sites from reaching ISPs, to, in effect, DDoS or block these sites.
This is just
from the
censorship
internet.
in a different guise.
So I think there is some of that is more than just gossip in here. But I think we don't want to repeat the gossip, and we're not going to repeat the gossip here. I don't think that's the story for us anyway.
I'd rather,
I think the story for us is, first of all, that Sony kind of ignored security entirely. Apparently, according to Elizabeth Barber writing in Time magazine, they had been hacked in February of this year. They knew its servers were vulnerable, according to Gawker, for at least a year before the hacking incident. In fact, Gawker quotes an email dated February 12th of this year from Sony's Vice President of Legal Compliance, Courtney Shaberg, telling her colleagues a Sony server may have been hacked but she would, quote, recommend against providing any notification to individuals. They in fact wanted to bury these hacks.
Well,
and
that's pretty.
And then there was also the PlayStation hack.
And they
Yeah,
been
that-
hacked
that
before.
was a horrible
PlayStation
hack.
PlayStation
Right, so
Network was
Sony
down
used
for
that.
Sony
weeks.
Pictures was hacked before.
She's back. Now you can ask her that question.
I'm back.
Yeah, so my question was before the FBI cut you off, Christina, was have you heard from law enforcement about this where they want to talk to you? I mean, if you're getting emails from the hackers, and obviously they're gonna cover their tracks. If you're getting emails from the hackers,
Right.
are you have you been contacted by law enforcement?
I have not. And if I was, I'd be happy to turn over any of the, emails from the hackers, which are coming from hush mail addresses and other things that they wanted to have those. I'd be more than happy to turn that over. When it comes to David Boies and has he sent anything? To my knowledge, he hasn't sent anything to Mashable yet. I haven't received any communications. I'm not sure if he's sent out a press thing or not. That would be our legal counsel would have to take that over. That's not my pay grade. That's someone above me. But as far as we know, I mean, we're standing by our reporting, and we're far from the only organization that's done this. I think that trying to intimidate people to not publish stuff, especially when there is proof, as you were just mentioning, Gawker finding out that there's, that there was potentially they were aware of someone being in the systems and they're not wanting to let people know. That sort of negligence, especially in when it comes to the inevitable class action lawsuits that the individual rank and file employees are going to be. I mean, I think that becomes really valid and really interesting. And I think the fact that they've had such despicable internal information security at Sony is something that, I mean, most of my early reporting was not before the emails leaked, didn't have anything to do with any of the salacious stuff. It was all about the fact that this is, how terrible how terrible this was and how Sony's own internal policies made this so much worse. And I think that's worth harping on and worth investigating, especially as we try to figure out, who's behind this and what their motive is, which, it seems to be financial. But
I don't think so. I have a theory.
Uh-oh.
And I understand the
What's your
financial
theory?
because they said they're blackmailing Sony, except that was not
Right.
right.
There has to be some
That
evidence
wasn't what
of
was
that.
going on. Well, they claim if you don't give us some money, but I don't think that there was really a strong attempt to get money out of Sony. I think this goes back to 2005 when Sony.
Here we go.
Sony Music, you may remember this, distributed
The
music
rootkits?
CDs with rootkits on them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those were terrible. But
And it
see, but why
modified
target
Windows
Sony
so you
Pictures?
couldn't
Because
tell
it's
it's
a completely
there.
different organization within the company.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what your
broke
Skype
up.
is breaking up.
Anyway, go on, Leo.
Remember that this was incredibly infuriating to people, particularly, I think, a certain class of people who then have continually taken it out on Sony ever since. I think the Sony PlayStation Network hack was as a result of the bad publicity Sony got for this rootkit and then other bad things that they did on the PlayStation
it wasn't
Network.
a malicious rootkit. They were idiots, and they put this rootkit in there because somebody told them it was a great idea. They weren't
Okay,
trying to screw anybody
you
with
may
it.
I
think
that's
that,
a
but
stretch, Leo. That's a
I don't
stretch.
think it's a stretch at all. I think Sony got on somebody's bad side, and they've been on their bad side ever since, that the same people, or at least descendants of the same people who perpetrated the Sony PlayStation Network hack are people who were involved in this. This is a revenge. This is somebody who's out to get Sony, has been out to get Sony for a long time. That's what I think.
Did they do a bust in the PlayStation hack? Did they
Never caught anybody.
nail somebody?
Well, I'm not going to subscribe to this thesis.
Why?
Yeah,
You're the conspiracy guy. I thought you'd love
I'm a
that.
conspiracy guy. I
They
work
didn't,
wrong.
they didn't get those guys. They got
Poor Christina is operating about 30 seconds behind us because of her Skype woes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
somebody did go to jail for the first Sony Pictures hack.
Okay.
Maybe that's
I know.
the guy.
I'm sorry. I was
Irked.
going to say that.
You're operating at a severe disadvantage. Sony, 77 million PlayStation Network customers and 25 million Sony Online Entertainment customers were hacked, in effect. Their information was revealed in this PlayStation hack. You may remember that the PlayStation Network was shut down for several weeks because of this. According to Reuters, this goes back to 2011, Sony's hired detectives from Guidance Software, Protivity, and Data Forte to find these hackers, and they think it came from a Malaysia-based server. By the way, this is as credible as the fact that this came from North Korea. it's almost impossible if the hackers are doing their job right.
Right, it could be
to track these people and know where they came from.
Probably the Ukraine, if any place.
It's clear that Sony doesn't care so much about security, even though they have every reason to care. They continually get hacked. I think we don't know how continually. I think there's been an ongoing campaign against Sony since 2005.
Well, that's because your thesis is based on that. Yes.
That's what I said. I think that. I don't have any evidence of that.
So there's another high-profile hack that's in the news today with the Sands Casino. And, where they
that was a revenge hack.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Shelley
is a great story.
Shelley got
we all know Shelley.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Sheldon Adelson, who is one of the richest men in the world, $42 billion worth, runs the Sands Casino and is, of course, a very outspoken advocate for Israel. Funded an anti-Obama campaign in 2008. Who was it?
Gingrich. You okay? Yeah, there we go.
Chokes me
He's
up.
hacking. He's hacking.
I'm hacking. So apparently Iranian state hackers brought down the Sands.
I find this hard to believe, but okay.
Well, you don't believe anything, but this one's true.
Apparently, I don't believe anything.
This one actually, I think, did they not claim responsibility?
Yeah, I'm telling you,
I think Iranians have claimed responsibility, but I don't think necessarily that it can be tied to the state, although it may be. A lot of these things where you talk about the state doing it is, oftentimes I'm not necessarily sure, like there's a general somewhere saying, go hack. I think what's happening is you have people who are aware of this, who are sympathetic, who have the skills to do it, and they just do it. And they may be located in Iran, but they may not necessarily be, necessarily employees of the government.
Great story in Bloomberg Business Week by Ben Elgin and Michael Riley detailing this hack, which cost, it's estimated, cost Sands and Shelley $40 million. I don't know. Is it Iran? Is it somebody in Iran who has the support of the Iranian government? I don't know.
Could be the U.S. government for all you know. We're the ones that do most of the hacking.
Well, and
that's true.
And there are warnings that the Iranians are going after the energy industry. That's a Reuters story from this week, as well as other companies. I know in Houston, everybody here is very nervous about state-operated hacking, and there's a lot of efforts being made to particularly educate energy industry employees not to fall for phishing attacks.
Yeah, the first thing you'd attack would be the power plants, right?
Right.
Of course,
right.
We in Israel hacked the Iranian centrifuges with Stuxnet
to
to slow down their nuclear enrichment program. So, I guess they don't know exactly who hacked the Sands. The investigators who have been investigating this, working for the Sands, this attack, by the way, occurred in February. We're just now learning about it. Say it was likely the work of hacktivists based in Iran, but they couldn't determine if the Iranian government played a role. But, says Dell Secure Works, it's unlikely that any hackers inside the country could pull off an attack of that scope without government knowledge, given the close scrutiny of Internet use within its borders. James Lewis, senior fellow at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, D.C., said, this isn't the kind of business you can get into in Iran without the government knowing. I think that's fairly safe to say.
Mm-hmm.
So cost Shelley $40 million. Shelley can afford it. We know Shelley because Sheldon Adelson started Comdex.
Yes.
In fact, that's where he got all his money, right?
Yeah.
Selling it.
He got sold it
just
for
the right time.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
He saw the writing on the wall. Sold it for $1 billion. Bought the Sands Hotel. I think he already bought the Sands somewhere in the middle. Leveled it, blew it up, created the Venetian, and then leveraged that until he could create this huge kind of
gambling
what they
empire.
call it, an empire. He created this large empire. Now he's worth $40 billion.
The Sands, in the days after the attack in February, told the press only that its websites had been vandalized and some office productivity systems, including email, weren't working. So the hackers got mad, and they posted a video, an 11-minute video on YouTube, set to Carl Orff, O Fortuna. La, 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 bum, bum, da. That's the one they use in all the horror movies. Damien.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah. It began by scrolling through a news article that highlighted Adelson's comments about nuking Iran, then showed a computer screen packed with thousands of files and photos with names like IT passwords and casino credit, which had been stolen from the Sands. In the video, an unseen hacker, by the way, it's gone. The law enforcement took it down. An unseen hacker clicks into a disk drive titled Damn A and enters a folder containing a terabyte of data. The text box appears, do you really think only your email server has been taken down? Like hell it has. I think this sounds a lot like the GOP hack.
I guess. This is not going to get any better. I don't know what people are going to expect in the future, but these hacks are going to just get worse and worse.
Well, and I think that I suppose we know how to really secure something, but it isn't really practical. Sony Sony's
practical if you don't mind the inconvenience.
But it's hard to do business with a truly secure system, and I think that's
they
the problem.
used to do business before
because there was no internet.
Now there's an internet, and they can't do business the old-fashioned way. I know a wine store in
Come
Berkeley.
on down to the Brown Derby. Let's talk. I want to make a movie with you, kid. That's the old-fashioned way.
And it worked.
Meet me at the Brown Derby.
Take movies like Godfather 1, 2, and 3. Those were reasonably good movies. There was no internet back in the day.
That's the days when they had a telephone on your table.
Yeah.
So you could show how powerful you were by taking a call.
Yeah.
Well, what was actually interesting about a lot of the emails is that there were certain conversations that they very clearly knew not to have over email, and they said, okay, I'll call you, I can't talk about this over email. And there were certain exchanges that got between Amy Pascal and Scott Rudin that got forwarded to Michael Linton, the CEO, and he actually said, I can't believe the two of you would say this over email. So it's one of those funny things, or even what we were able to get is obviously only parts of the story. They were aware that there are certain things and certain conversations they shouldn't have over email just for standard practices, and the fact that people can forward things and stuff can leak. So yeah, I mean, I think that it probably isn't a bad idea for, if there's something truly sensitive or truly important that you don't want a paper trail for, then don't leave a paper trail.
The first upload of stolen data from the Sony hack was made in Thailand from the Wi-Fi network of the St. Regis Bangkok.
Yep.
It's not a cheesy hotel, I might add.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? They drove down from South Korea and
North Korea.
North Korea. They just drove down.
North Korea. They
drove
there was a
down.
vacation.
Took a little vacation in the van, and they parked outside the St. Regis, and they just said, "We'll use this network."
We use the St. Regis network, which is unsecure, apparently.
I think that the people who did the Sony hack did want you to think it was North Korea, right? Because they even made
I think that's our government.
Some comments about the interview.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's our government.
Some of their stuff said that, and they used some Korean terms. But yeah, I would actually say that I think that it was actually probably some of the Sony people and maybe some of their security people that were kind of spreading the meme that North Korea was involved. But
it's good for box office.
Well,
the problem.
Did you see, actually, somebody in Deadline wrote what had to be the biggest French kiss to Sony I've ever seen in my life, that said that every American needs to go see the interview because we can't let the terrorists win.
Oh my God!
Good luck with that.
And it, by the way, looks like the worst movie
It does.
ever.
People, they're talking about it, and then they show the trailers. You would look at this trailer and say, I don't want to see this movie. It looks like garbage.
Seth Rogen and James Franco crawling around on a sofa sniffing each other's butts. This does not seem to me
it's gone to the dogs.
to be America family entertainment like we knew, John, back in the
when
days.
I was a kid, before the internet.
Whatever happened to Crosby and Hope? We're off on the road to Damascus.
Oh, man.
This is me bringing out the worst in you, by the way, according to somebody.
Man. It's the Hangover 4. Is what it is.
Basically, or Pineapple Express 2, which actually is being made at Sony.
No,
yeah.
Please, God, no. See, I don't care about the terrorists. I just don't want Sony to win.
Right. Well, no, but it's very funny though that the fact that obviously the op-ed was written in such a way. I was like, oh, this is Deadline staying on Sony's good side. Please continue to give us information. Please love us. We're gonna write this flowery op-ed about how if everyone doesn't see this movie, the terrorists win. Which, I mean, come on.
That's kind of hard to. That is a big French kiss.
Yeah, no, when I saw that on Friday, I started laughing out loud, and my colleagues were turning around and looking at me, and I just saw the biggest, lapdog article I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah. I didn't think that you could actually make a case to try to turn this into a publicity stunt, but there you go.
Little word of warning to Sony. The Department of Justice has already said companies trying to hack the bad guys back would be subject to criminal penalties under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. So don't do it. Don't take the law into your own hands.
No vigilantes, please.
No vigilante justice. Sorry, Sony. Don't you think, though, that people hate Sony and they just want to... Everybody wants to screw with Sony.
Everybody's bitching about no commercials in this show.
Nobody's saying bring out more...
Some people want to pee. Some people in the chat are saying they need a break.
No, they were. She's right.
They were. I'm looking
not sure that is exactly the message we'd like to send our advertisers. They got to go to the bathroom, these people.
Many of them really are holding it.
We're going to do a commercial now so you can all go pee. is not the message I want to send our advertisers.
Well, it depends. It may be for a toilet.
It isn't. It's for something so much better. It's for Citrix GoToMeeting.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, there you go. Hey, don't go pee yet. I've got to tell you about GoToMeeting. It is the most. This is. Please take this seriously. It's the most important tool for your business you will ever hear about. And by the way, it's secure. There's never been a hack of GoToMeeting. It's absolutely a secure way to meet in HD video conferencing. You could see each other face to face. You can share screens. You could solve problems because meeting's the best way to kind of cut through that Gordian knot. You could close deals faster. You could do those presentations to new clients, create new opportunities. Clients love it. Clients, trust me, they don't want you to fly out and sit in their lobby and then come take up their time with your PowerPoint presentation. They would much rather you say, hey, let's have a GoToMeeting. It's fast, it's easy, you get to the point. They get what they need, you get what you need. GoToMeeting. If you've got a team distributed, as most of us do, all over the place, it's the easiest way. Eliminates the cost, the time of travel. You can share screens to review documents. You can collaborate on documents together. You can present in real time. And again, that built-in HD video conferencing means it's as good as face-to-face meeting. You can see their body language. You can see their faces. They see you. You'll cut out the wasted time and expensive travel without losing the personal touch. I want you to try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. I really don't even ever do a meeting without GoToMeeting. It's just the easiest way to meet. You send an email or it's automatic. They click a link. They're in. They're doing it. GoToMeeting.com. Click the Try It Free button. You've got it for 30 days absolutely free. GoToMeeting.com. And we thank the great folks at Citrix for their long-time support of the Twit Network. Well, you did a great job, and if anybody wants to read about the ins and outs of the Jobs movie, which left Sony because they couldn't make a deal, something about Angelina Jolie being a talentless, immature baby.
Well, I didn't think she was going to be a good Steve Jobs anyway.
I think she would have been. It was brilliant casting.
Actually, what was that movie about Bob Dylan that had everybody but Bob Dylan
playing? Yeah, that was great. You're
Kate
not
Blanchett.
there.
I'm not there.
I'm not there. Todd Haynes directed that. That was a great film.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Weird.
I don't know how you got from here to there.
Well, because Kate Blanchett played Bob Dylan.
Right. Kate
Blanchett.
Oh,
I see. I get it.
Canadian court rules police officers can search cell phones without a warrant, and civil liberties activists in Canada cheer. Why would they cheer?
Because then they can take the photos off and exchange them with each other, like they did in
California, the CHP.
And that would be cool.
Turns out this is actually more restricted than previous Canadian law. In the past, there was nothing to stop a police officer from saying, give me your phone. I want to see if there's any good pictures on it. Now
I did not know that.
Now there are rules. The arrest must be lawful. Police need a valid reason for the search. I want to see if there's any nude pictures on there. The search must be limited to the suspected crime. This is the most important. Police have to keep detailed records of the search. So while initially it looks as if Canada is going the wrong direction on this, in fact, this is an improvement over the previous law. Officers in Canada had virtually unfettered right to search a cell phone during an arrest.
And now it's unfailingly polite.
But you got to be polite.
That's right. You have to be polite.
Excuse me, sir, may I search your phone?
No.
But here in the United States, the Supreme Court has ruled that the police need a warrant to search your phone. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, and that'll stop them.
And the Fifth Amendment means that they can't ask you for your password. You have the right to not self-incriminate, but they can press your finger against the Touch ID.
So here's my question. Now, what if I just wanted to press a finger that I don't have connected to Touch ID?
What if it didn't
I haven't had
work?
a chance to restart it, exactly, and I use it my 5 tries, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm not sure why this isn't working, you guys. And then it's like, oh, you want the code? I'm sorry, I don't have to tell you that.
Are you going to play? Are you going to play I just don't know I don't know how this stuff works, officer.
Like Blanche, or what's her name?
I mean,
Blanche Dubois.
Well, I mean, I think it's either that or it's like if my phone is bad enough that I'm like, this could be way worse than whatever they're going to do to me in the interim between, they're going to be really angry at me for not using my fingerprint, and what's on my phone is worse, then I would probably put up with whatever the punishment would be and just use a pinky or something that wasn't connected to it until I tries. I don't know.
It's always worked in the past, officer. I just put my pinky on it. It unlocks it. I can't understand why it's not working. I don't know.
I should do it with an obscure finger on the wrong hand.
It's not a chokehold, honest. Let's see.
What else you got on this list? I didn't get a copy of this.
You didn't get a copy of this? You just read over my shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. How about this one? This actually was something that Jeff Jarvis wanted to talk about on Wednesday on This Week in Google, but couldn't because it was embargoed, but it happened. Google has announced, that's it. We're not going to do Google News in Spain anymore.
Good.
I think this is the way Google should handle this stuff.
I've always felt this way.
A copyright law in Spain that actually doesn't take effect until next year.
Google's, in some odd way, tends to be doing people a favor when because they have links. It's like you.
Well, they did this in it was the publishers, I think, in Germany.
Germany, right?
Yeah, they wanted to charge Google for putting snippets from the stories. They said, that's our content. You can't do that. You have to pay us.
Right.
So Google just turned it off, and they lost so much traffic. They said, never mind, please publish snippets. So in Spain, a really extremely aggressive law that would have compelled Google to pay licensing revenues to Spanish publishers if even a headline appeared in Google News.
Yeah.
Google pointed out, we actually don't make any money. There's no ads on Google News.
No, Google News is a loser.
So
money loser, that is.
So they say it's with real sadness that on December 16th, before the new law comes in effect in January, we are going to remove all Spanish publishers from Google News. We are going to close Google News in Spain. If the good news is there's a lot of Spanish language content out there, and that will continue to appear on Google News. But none of those Spanish newspapers will get a single link from us.
Good.
That's revenge.
Yeah. Oh, I'd like to see them throwing their weight around.
Do you? Do you want to see that? You want to see? Do you really want to see Google throw its weight around?
Only in these situations, not just all the time.
This is such a ridiculous.
That's not throwing your weight around.
Place
That's
in
kind of
Belgium.
passive aggressive.
It is. It feels like. I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Right.
Kind of.
Well, you're going to get sued otherwise.
Now the Spanish newspapers.
Huh?
No, there she goes again.
Oh, man, we have trouble with this.
No, but the Spanish newspapers now are saying, I know. My husband's playing video games. Let me
tell him
to stop.
What? Get his
He's
priorities
downloading
straight.
porn while you're doing the show.
What video game is he playing?
It's embarrassing for me to even admit it, so I'm not going to.
Oh, come on! This is like Google pulling the Spanish news content from Google News. It's the same passive-aggressive stuff.
Tell us.
It is.
Camera over there.
Come on, you can tell us. It's not going to know who's going to know.
He's playing League of Legends.
No, he's playing some sort of weird Second Life game.
Oh,
Second Life. Oh.
That's still a thing?
Oh.
That's not.
I know.
Is he wearing
Apparently
his
he's
nude?
a mafia lord.
Is he wearing his nude suit?
No. There's apparently a game within Second Life where everybody there's a whole mafia thing going on. I don't even know. I'm like, just play Minecraft, just play WoW. Why are you doing this? I don't know. It's see, like I said, it's humiliating for me because this is married.
Yeah, you married
Yeah, he's probably got a couple of wives in that game.
You chose him. Who's your Second Life wife? I want to know. Is she beautiful?
That's good.
I actually have a friend that. I'll share my embarrassment.
Okay.
I have a friend who's a Second Life photographer.
What?
He does.
How does that even work?
He publishes this on Facebook, and I want to say, Daniel, stop doing that. It's like he poses people in Second Life and then takes pictures of them.
Screenshots?
I think there may be a tool. I don't know. And then he posts these fashion pictures from Second Life.
No.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's something about Second Life.
I've never liked the idea.
It's a little weird.
Guys get really caught up in it.
Do they?
Yes.
I knew a guy that's like a high-end professional attorney, and he just loves Second Life, and I don't know what I don't know.
Who was it we
Seems
had
baffling to
on
me.
Triangulation? Is one of the founders of Second Life. I can't remember his name. Who was it? Linden
Philip
of Linden
Linden.
Labs. He was on Triangulation. Wow.
Boy, you really listened to that conversation
I wish I'd
carefully.
been there. That must have been a good interview. Because he
I know
said
that when
he's
Second-
still on the board at Second Life, but I think he's doing a new thing like that, a new virtual world.
Third Life.
Well, it all comes from Snow Crash, right? The metaverse and Snow Crash and Neil Stevenson's
Right.
Snow
That's
Crash.
my understanding.
Yeah.
I know that when Second Life was really hot, there was a lot of interest among publishers and particularly newspaper publishers.
Yes, I remember
How
that
can we
too.
get in there? How can we get in there and get our content?
Oh, yeah.
And I was going, no, you don't want to do that.
And they were
really.
putting
Trust me.
billboards up, and they're setting up shop.
Right,
There was a couple
yes,
PR
yes.
agencies that were going to set up shop in the
Yes.
Second Life.
Yes.
The weirdest thing, the Maldives. What is that? Like it's an island?
Yeah,
It's
the
a
Maldives.
The Maldives.
Yeah.
They had a consulate in Second Life.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Idiotic.
We have, if you would like,
I'm gonna get divorced because of this, and I'm gonna blame you guys because
it's our
this is
fault.
really,
You know
really
what?
bad.
If you
Maybe
get
doing
divorced,
you a
always
favor.
blame us. It's not a big deal.
I
You're
do.
in New York.
every time.
You're in New York. We're out
Every time.
here.
Yeah.
My husband's gonna divorce me because I shared this secret shame of his. He's gonna be so
No,
mad.
he's a smart guy. He knows that.
He is a smart
We
guy.
goaded you.
But I do have something he might be
You did.
interested in. If he's sleeping on the couch tonight, may I recommend a Casper mattress? Casper mattress.
This is the segue of the decade.
That's excellent.
Stop
Leo.
sleeping on the couch. Get a lovely Casper mattress. They're super comfortable. They use latex for breathing and comfort, and the memory foam on top to give you a mattress with just the right sink and bounce, and they last forever. And I love my Casper mattress. Here's a video of the Casper. Now, this was a queen-size Casper mattress. It comes in a little box. They actually deliver it to your door. You may say, well, I'm not going to buy a mattress sight unseen.
What? Can I
What? Now, for
interrupt
those
the
of you
interview?
watching video, I'm opening the box.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
inside it says, Leo, we hope you sleep like a queen. What is this
Well,
supposed
it's
to
a
mean?
queen size. If they had gotten the king, maybe they would have said, I hope you sleep like a king. And if I'd gotten the twin, maybe they would have said, I hope you sleep like a twin.
Oh, okay. I
Get
misunderstood.
it? It's like a little pun. Watch this. The mattress, it opens right up. Look at that. Oh, it's so comfortable. You can just dive right into that Casper. Oh, comfort. I liked it so much, I actually got one for my son in college, and he loves it too. Now, you may say, well, I'm not going to buy a mattress online. How do I know how it'll feel? I want to go lie on it first. Now, studies show, I'm sure there's a study that will show this. That's me. What do you mean? What does that
you
look
in
like?
the thing?
Yeah, that's me.
Huh.
Studies show that going to a showroom and lying there in the middle of the day for 5 minutes with some showgirl looking at you
What, quit show business?
is no way to choose a mattress. Casper lets you try these mattresses for 100 days. Delivery is free and returns are free and easy, so it's completely risk-free. We've got a great deal, too, for you. You'll take $50 off your Casper mattress if you use the offer code TWIT at Casper, CASPER.com/TWIT. Very affordable, too, by the way. $500 for a twin, $950 for the fullest, biggest king size. That's a lot less expensive than a mattress at the mattress store. And I got to tell you, a lot more comfortable. Made in the USA. They are fabulous. A premium mattress for the fraction of the price and $50 off when you use the offer code TWIT. Casper, CASPER.com/TWIT. Tell your husband, Christina. Hey, honey, guess what? You're not sleeping on the couch tonight. Actually, it would be you sleeping on the couch because you busted him.
I was gonna say I'm the one who's in trouble here because it's my secret shame, but I mean it's really his secret shame too, and he enjoys it, and I love my husband, so
no,
it's just
that's
as long as
fine.
he's not.
You know,
as
he
long
will
as-
never
as-
listen to the show.
No, this is true. He won't.
There you go.
He doesn't.
Nothing to
He
worry
doesn't read
about.
what I write. He doesn't listen to my podcast.
Tell us more
So
stuff.
This is true.
What is, does he work in the?
No.
How did this lucky guy get you. Does he work in the business?
He does. He's a software engineer.
He's a software engineer.
Yeah, but he used to be an editor. He used to write for a site called Download Squad. And,
I remember
Download Squad.
And
Yeah.
he hired me. I worked at Download Squad too, and Grant hired me.
Oh, you married the boss.
Uh-oh.
I did. It was very scandalous.
Yes, a lawsuit lurks.
Shocking.
No.
You can blackmail
please.
him. Go for
AOL hardly paid enough.
I think I've met Grant. I think Grant is a very nice guy. And
Yeah, Grant's fantastic.
He's a great guy, and he's a very lucky guy. And I think, what game do you play while he's playing Second Life?
Call of Duty.
See?
Call of Duty, you can butcher people.
Call of Duty.
So you're saying he's the girl
Bloodthirsty.
in the
Well,
relationship.
Call of Duty or I
Oh, here we go again.
What do you think now? Is Call of Duty, did you get Advanced Warfare?
Yes.
Is it going downhill?
It is. It's definitely going downhill, but I've been playing it for so long. I also, the new GTA 5 for Xbox One, I've been playing that too.
That looks like fun.
Yeah,
That
because I
looks
love
like
GTA. I wish I had more time for video games, but I
Apparently,
just
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare sales have declined about 27% from Ghosts, which came out in 2013. Ghosts was down 19% from Black Ops 2. That was down 17% from Modern Warfare 3, and so on and on and on and on. I mean, it basically...
They need to beef it up.
Well, I think how many versions of Call of Duty are there?
there are a million of them. The same thing. I like Assassin's Creed as well. The graphics in Assassin's Creed look fantastic, but the gameplay has been going downhill.
It's not ever. It was never good gameplay, but it's so
that's
beautiful.
True, but it's so
Lots of
beautiful to look
butchery.
at.
Not butchery.
Yeah.
Just a lot of climbing and running.
Yeah, butchery.
And do you play Assassin's Creed on the PlayStation and Xbox? What do you play it on? PlayStation.
On the Xbox.
On the Xbox One. So for some reason, and this is not the Unity, this is the previous one, it's twitchy. I can't get the guy. I'm trying to run after the guy who stole my wallet, and I keep running past the turns and stuff because I can't. Do you notice that's twitchy?
I do. It is. It's twitchy. It's definitely twitchy.
Get a
Okay,
different
it's not
controller.
me.
Get a different controller.
No, you can't. It's Xbox. There's nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing else. Although I've been loving the Wii U lately with the Smash.
You're playing Mario
and,
Smash Brothers.
Oh, Mario Smash and then Mario Kart. Mario Kart was the greatest thing this summer. I had so much fun with Mario Kart.
Is that the new
I haven't had
one?
that much fun with the video. Yeah, the new one. I haven't had that much fun with the video game. I'm being totally honest, in probably a decade since Mario Kart this summer. I had so much fun with it on the Wii U.
Okay, I was thinking of getting the Wii U for Michael. He's 12 because of Mario Kart 8. I just want him.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
cares?
I
want to play Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 and the new Super Smash Brothers. I mean, they're so much fun, and it's one of those things where some of the other games are pretty good too, but just Mario Kart alone is such a blast. I mean, I had friends come over. I sold probably 4 Wii U's to people
Really?
who were playing. Yeah, just because they played Mario and they went, oh my God. People who aren't even huge video game people were like, I have to have this.
How much longer are they going to make this Wii U?
Who even knows? They finally have good games. The problem is that, the games play pretty well, but their interface is still really slow because they underpowered the thing. But
And it's not HD yet either.
No, it's HD.
Oh, it is HD.
It's been that way for a
It's
while.
finally HD. It's finally HD.
But is it 4K? No.
No.
I want 4K.
Yeah, I need a 4K TV for that first. I'm not spending 10 grand on a TV.
I know.
They're actually pretty cheap. You can get them now at Costco.
I know they are. They're crappy ones. I
They're
know.
crap.
But
And don't get them because...
I'm going to get the real one. I'm not going to do...
Don't get UHD now because the standard's not set, and you're going to get a TV that's not going to take advantage of...
Every new set that comes out, you should never buy any of them.
Well, when the UHD standard is set and the color space and all of that stuff, then get one. But don't buy one now.
And once the new Blu-ray standard is out, so that there's
exactly.
Well, let me think.
Bingo.
Hey, Leo, do you have a 4K TV?
No, I have a OLED. That's OLED.
I thought you had a 4K.
That curved one you see?
That's because the OLED looks so good.
Looks good.
So good.
And I think the Wii U on my OLED TV would be very nice.
Oh, it'll look amazing. Mario Kart will be so much fun. We'll be able to throw shells and and Luigi gives the stink eye. It's the greatest thing ever.
Now the Wii U is a controller with a screen in the controller.
It does. It has one of those. You don't have to use that though. It also has. You can use regular controllers with it. You can use either any of the Wii accessories. You can even use the GameCube controllers with it.
I could get the little steering wheel and do it.
There you
can get
go.
the
Now
steering
you're
wheel, which
talking.
works really well.
Is that what you use, Christina?
Yeah, I use the steering wheel, and it's pretty fun. It's so much fun. I mean, my husband's a big Forza person. So his like, he really loves Forza, and then I'm into Mario Kart. I'm like, I don't want the realism. I just want the kart racing.
I drive every day. I don't need a car game. I don't need a. But I have to say, I could see myself if I play enough of this Mario Kart having a dream that I'm driving around in a Mario Kart.
That's what happens.
Do you ever
to
have
with
that
GTA.
dream?
I can see
GTA,
you.
what do you
I can see you having the dream for sure.
So with GTA, what happens is that I walk around New York City, or I walk around something else, and I see a car, I see like a mail truck or something.
Yeah,
exactly. And like my first instinct is to jump in the car and start driving off, and I have to stop myself and go, no. This isn't a game. This is real life. You don't actually steal cars now. So that's
okay.
And you should see what she does to hookers.
Holy mackerel!
Holy mackerel!
Hookers in New York. Now we know.
Yeah. No. That's only in Jersey.
Should I get GTA 5? Should I?
Yes.
You should. It's fantastic.
My son played the games, and I thought this is wrong. But he also,
so wrong, but so
what
good.
he played that was even worse was Postal. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Not kind of old.
That was ugly.
Old school.
That was a horrible game. You'd rip people's heads off, and it was
That
terrible.
one was banned in Europe.
Yeah, rightly so. It should have been banned in Europe.
Is there any more news we can talk about?
Not at all. So let's tell you what. In case you just tuned in, but you still have to pee, let's take a look.
Another pee break.
Let's take a look at what's happened. This was a good week on Twit. Let's take a little look while the Niners lose at what happened this week on Twit.
Previously on Twit.
That newsroom thing was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that was neat. And he's obviously logged into the Twit Live IRC.
I was like, please let it be all man.
Security Now.
How many breaches of Sony have we talked about in the past? BitTorrent clients have been loaded on Sony servers, then they're offering the torrents from Sony's own servers.
That's insult to injury.
Triangulation.
Warren Jacob is here. He's CEO and founder of Toy Talk, toytalk.com. I am not a pet.
Because I thought you were a cute little puppy. Yeah, because you have 2 arms and 2 legs and 2 eyes.
Tech News Tonight.
It's 85 of the most disruptive ideas in our history.
One of my favorites, PowerPoint at number 53. Disruptions aren't all good things, but it really has changed the way that many companies do business.
Twit. It's free when you watch from work.
You know, the smartphone is number 78, but I will point out that kitty litter is number 73. I go ahead and put that right there.
Kitty litter is absolutely one of the best inventions of the century. Do we have a week ahead with Mr. Mike Elgin, news director here at the Twit Complex? Let's hear it.
Coming up this week, Oracle reports earnings on Wednesday, December 17th. Also on Wednesday, the Chinese search giant Baidu is expected to announce a major investment in Uber. And BlackBerry has an earnings call scheduled for Friday, December 19th. That's what's coming up this week. Back to you, Leo.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Mr. Mike Elgin, news director. You can catch, of course, this week, TNT, I should say, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 1800 UTC. Your daily dose of tech news. Should I worry?
Yes.
I rooted my Nexus 6 phone and then looked at it with a file manager, and I found a folder called Baidu.
Baidu,
the Chinese.
Yeah. So you feel you should worry?
I don't think that I should have a folder named Baidu on a phone that I never had a Baidu program on.
Maybe something is up. Where's this? Is this whose phone is this?
This is the Nexus 6. It's made by Motorola, but it is made in China.
And where did you get the image that you used to root the phone?
Oh.
Did you install it?
Yeah. Oh, you got it from Baidu.
Oh, I'm in trouble now. I just found it on the internet.
You just found it on the internet?
Just any old image. Just there it was.
I found it on the internet.
I'm going to root my phone.
What could possibly go wrong?
This thing is huge.
It's a giant. It's the Nexus 6.
This is too big.
You know, the code name was Shamu.
It's too big.
Yeah, I can see that.
Killer whale.
Yeah.
No, it's just right.
It also weighs a ton.
Well, it's big.
So I have one of those phony iPhone 6s from China.
Yeah, those are good. You got one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, I have something else for you that Charbax brought me.
Okay.
A little keyboard that folds out. He said, give this to Dvorak.
Oh, okay.
I would, but you didn't give me my camera back. So.
Oh, you can keep it then. Keep the camera.
Wait a minute.
No, I got the camera anytime you want it. I kept everything in the little pack, so I'm not like the lenses aren't floating around the house.
Did anybody go buy anything for Black Friday? Any of you go do your Black Friday? Thank you. Here's the keyboard. See
yeah, it's kind of cute.
No, most of the deals you get on Black Friday ain't really good deals.
You knew that, did you?
I did know that. I
Well,
tried to stay away from it.
The folks at the Wirecutter did a survey of 54,000 of the deals for Black Friday.
Yeah.
Of those 54,000, how many do you think actually were deals?
None.
300. Less than 1%.
Well, that's still a few.
300 out of 54,000.
Well, that's a scam.
One of the things they found, maybe, in fact, I even saw this. I think it was Best Buy was offering was it a Samsung UHD, Ultra HD TV? Let me see if I can find the story here. Yeah. 55-inch ultra high definition Samsung TV, $899 on Black Friday. Discounted $500. Best Buy, in fact, has raised the price back up to $12.99. But the Wirecutter looked at the model. They found it had one of the worst cases of motion blur they've ever seen in an LCD. The 4K resolution only holds true if there is no motion on the screen at all. If it's a static picture, they said on a moving image, you'd be lucky to get 1K.
What brand is
It's not
this?
even HD.
Samsung.
Huh.
And that's the problem is, yes, there may be deals, but they will not be on the best items. In fact, Brian Lamb, who started the Wirecutter, we love Brian, said, don't get distracted by the razzle-dazzle of double-digit off. Figure out what you need, then do the math. He said, otherwise you'll get lost in a sea of apparent discounts that are most likely not good things and not good prices. They're not good things and they're not good prices. He said the best stuff, the stuff that's really good, is almost never on sale.
In that story that Farhad Manjoo wrote, he mentions a site I'd never heard of before, and I went and checked it out. It's pretty interesting, called Camel. And this site tracks Amazon products, and you can set up essentially alerts to let you know when something is hit, a certain low price. And they also have separate sites for Best Buy and Newegg that tracks those websites as well. I didn't know about this.
I didn't either, and I bookmarked it because this is such a great thing. So this is Amazon price history for one of the things they were talking about. In fact, I have this toaster oven. They say it's a very good toaster oven, the Breville Smart Oven. And you can see the price history graph went down as low as $187 and as high as $250. And so that really tells you that, what the range is. And when you go to Macy's and their Black Friday deal and it's $300, that's not a good deal.
Right.
I don't think that this is news.
I think it is. I think people do think. In fact, we talked about, the doorbuster specials and Black Friday and stuff on Twitter a couple of weeks ago.
For it. Yeah.
And was it might have been Owen, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said, look, you're not poor. You don't understand that if you don't have a lot of money and you need to get gifts, you're going to get in line on these doorbusters because you're going to be able to get more for your money. And I think a lot of people do believe they're getting a better deal. It is not a good deal, and you are not often saving money. For instance, this smart toaster, Macy's was offering for a limited time sale price. You just saw that the highest price on Amazon was $250. Macy's was offering for $280.
Oh, no.
Which Macy's says is a discount off the item's regular price of $417, except according to Camel, no one's ever charged that. So Farhad asked a spokeswoman for Macy's, where did that $417 price come from? Macy's says those, quote, regular prices are based on many different factors, including the cost.
I love it.
Including the cost of the item, overhead, benefits we offer, as well as our ability to offer the item at a lower price during sales events.
Gambling? I'm stunned.
As Macy's,
it's like how TJ Maxx always says, compared to up to whatever the price is, and you're like, yeah, this shirt never sold for that much money. But thanks TJ Maxx for making me think about it.
She says,
astonishing news.
Oh, come on. Macy's explains in the fine print on its website that regular prices may never have resulted in any actual sales.
And I mean, granted, this was more than a decade ago, but when I worked at Best Buy when I was in high school and college, for
Were
Black
you on
Friday,
the Geek Squad?
I quit when it became Geek Squad because they wanted me to wear polyester pants and shirt combo that was attached together with a clip-on tie. And at that point, I was like, no, I'm done. I'm not doing this. Like, I'll do a lot of things. I'm not going to wear a clip-on tie and polyester pants.
Christina Warren, I like your high standards. I will work for the Geek Squad, but I will not wear polyester pants.
That was basically what it was at. You know what? And at that point, the company had taken 5 years of my life, my youth, everything. I was like, you know what? This is like the last insult I've done. But
sucked me dry.
Yes.
Best Buy. I'm gone.
That basically was it. But what was funny was that when for Black Friday and for other things, we would actually get, like, remember e-machines? Remember those?
Yeah.
The really terrible computers? Well, we would get special e-machines in that we would only sell on Black Friday. We would get these packages that were similarly spec'd, but not quite as good as the regular, like, kind of low-cost machines. We would get, and we would get things from HP as well. We'd get computers that we would only sell at Black Friday that we would have for these really low prices that would have these kind of cut-down configurations. And they would look really similar in model number to the existing stuff we sold, but they weren't exactly the same. And they were, maybe $100 less or whatever. We'd sell out of all of those, and then we'd, have to try to upsell people to the real ones that were sort of similar to what was in the ad. But the fact of the matter is, but that just proves that this report is totally right, is that a lot of these things are not deals, and the good stuff doesn't go on sale. And in fact, they get, models of products in just to sell cheaper.
Yeah. They're not even legit. So,
Leo,
you're right, John. I owe it. What are you looking at grains for?
I just thought I'd put this up on this. It's nuts.
You just did a search for nuts. Of course, people kind of. But did you? I mean, the actual depth.
It's easy for you to say.
The actual depth of this, out of 54,000 products, only 300 are in any way
I was
deals.
surprised it was that high.
Really?
I was stunned.
You thought it would be zero.
Zero. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dwight.
Leo,
go ahead.
what I would like to see, the Camel's so good, and both Wirecutter and Sweet Home are such good resources. I'd love to see them combined, or where, say, Wirecutter were to buy Camel. Can you imagine that type of tracking built into a site like Wirecutter? That would be amazing.
Actually, Brian started Wirecutter after he left Gizmodo, and I think it was almost just a personal pet project.
Right, it was just his recommendations.
Because he felt like, when you see these reviews, what you really want to know is, in this category, what's the one product? What's the best product? So Wirecutter was just like, don't worry about it. This is the best one. This is the best toaster oven. This is the best electric broom. This is the best computer. That's the one. And I almost always agreed with their conclusions. And obviously, it was a great idea because they're clearly growing. And good on him. I think that's great.
Although the Sweet Home has some strange categories, like I saw today that they have the best facial tissues and they're Puffs.
Actually, there's a brand in Canada that's far superior to Puffs. Seriously. You think I joke?
It's nuts! I love it how, John is somehow commenting on the show by searching images on Google. And you just felt like searching for nuts, and you pulled up nuts.
Yes, there's a bunch of them. And now, curiously, you did the same exact thing.
Well, because nobody could see your screen, so I thought I'd show them what John's looking at.
Yes.
Did that make you feel better doing that?
I like the nuts heart.
I think that's up there. Tasty looking.
Too many almonds.
And they also will say, and bolts, peanuts, squirrel. And in fact, this is my favorite picture. What nuts?
Yeah, there's this one.
No, don't show that one. We're going to take a break, come back with more. John C. Dvorak is here from NoAgendaShow.com. Christina Warren from Mashable. And Dwight Silverman from the Houston Chronicle. Our show today brought to you by Stamps.com. We just mailed our Christmas cards. You think we went to the post office to buy stamps? What are you, nuts?
Nuts.
Nuts.
Once again.
Who has time to go to the post office? This time of year, it's crowded. There's parking hassles. There's traffic. Just driving across town this time of year is nuts. So we use Stamps.com. Stamps.com lets us buy and print our own U.S. postage from our computer, from our printer. I don't ever have to get up from the desk. And you can print postage for any letter or package when you need it. You always have exactly the right price. You don't have to worry. And the mailman picks it up. It's easy. It's convenient. With their USB scale, you never have to guess. You get discounts you can't even get at the post office on Priority Mail Express shipments. If you're doing international mailing, it'll automatically fill out the customs forms. And in fact, it saves you on errors, because if you sell on eBay, Amazon, Etsy, if you use QuickBooks, it will pull the information, the addresses right from those websites or those services, so fill it out automatically. It is so fast. This is mailing made professional. You can even print right on the envelope, which is awesome, with your company logo, the return address pre-populated. It'll save you time. It'll save you money. You're going to love it. And I have a special deal that is really second to none. This is the time of year to take advantage of our no-risk trial. Visit Stamps.com. You'll see in the upper right-hand corner one of those nice old-fashioned mics. Click that. Enter the offer code TWIT, and you're going to get a special $110 bonus offer. That includes that digital scale I mentioned. You just pay shipping and handling for that, $5. But it also gives you $55 in free postage coupons to use over the first few months of your account and 30 days free of Stamps.com. It's a pretty exceptional offer. Stamps.com. Just make sure you click the microphone and use the offer code TWIT. Turn your business into a pro mailing enterprise with Stamps.com. So I'm watching with great interest a couple of Supreme Court cases. One that I'm really interested in is about free speech.
Yeah?
Let me see if I can find this story, because I don't think it's in our rundown. The First Amendment. And the question is, believe it or not, if the First Amendment protects hate speech online. Let me see if I can find this story. It comes from a guy who was harassing his ex-wife on Facebook. And I mean...
Oh, this is the crazy guy. Right.
He's in jail right now.
If I threaten to kill you, it's just I'm just joking.
Yeah.
You had all these crazy...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they actually heard arguments December 1st. A Pennsylvania resident, Anthony Alanis, was sentenced to 4 years in prison for posting explicit rap lyrics in which he threatened to murder his estranged wife, shoot up elementary schools, and cut the throat of an FBI agent investigating the case. He went to jail for that because it's a federal offense to transmit threats over the internet, interstate threats to injure the person of another. One of the things he wrote, "I'm not going to rest until your body is a mess, soaked in blood and dying from all the little cuts. Hurry up and die." Seems like that's not protected by free speech, right?
And?
In the past, it's always been held that if
this is really not hate speech, though.
But free speech is not protected if it's a threat against somebody, right?
It's a threat speech.
The ACLU is defending this guy.
Bless their hearts.
Saying a statute that proscribes speech without regard to the speaker's intended meaning runs the risk of punishing protected First Amendment expression simply because it is crudely or zealously expressed. The Supreme Court has all along said that if it's a true threat, it's not protected under the First Amendment.
Right.
But they are agreeing to hear this case.
This was a true threat.
Sounds like a threat.
Sounds like a threat. It's a threat.
His ex filed a restraining order. She feared for her life. The appeals court said, no, you're right. They sent him to jail, saying the federal statute only requires a reasonable person would feel legitimately threatened. But now the Supreme Court is going to address this and answer the question whether her perception that her husband intended harm is enough to warrant a crime, or do you need to, in prosecution, demonstrate that the husband himself was in a threatening state of mind. This is stuff that's hard to prove. Intent is very hard to prove. And because
she
it's
had
on
a restraining order.
Yes.
I think that's a good sign right there. That proves something was up.
I was going to say, the fact that she had the restraining order means that already, I would think, I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but I would think that means that the judge, someone has shown that there's, clearly a cause for concern, and that's why he has the restraining order issued against him.
But here's the thing. It's on Facebook. And here's a legal scholar, Garrett Epps, writing at The Atlantic, said, if Alanis had sent the threats by mail, there would be little doubt of his intent. If he had written them in a diary that was discovered by accident, they'd be protected.
Okay.
Where do Facebook postings fall? I think that's public.
Is the diary
totally public.
Apparently,
Diary
because the threats were not communicated, and so they are not actually threats. So the real this is why I bring this up. Otherwise this would be just a free speech issue, but somehow because of the context, this threatening, if it's on Facebook, is it really a threat? And what worries me is if the Supreme Court decides, oh no, that's protected speech, that is First Amendment protected speech.
They're not going to do that.
Then hateful stuff on Facebook and Twitter is going to have a free reign.
It's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't prevent Facebook and Twitter from still banning that sort of stuff.
No, in fact, we should be very clear about this. The First Amendment merely says the government may not prohibit somebody from saying something. It protects free speech from the government.
And passing a law that says you can't do this is the government.
That's the government.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I can ban somebody from my chat room. I can tell anybody.
And you do.
And I do. And that's fine. I mean, Facebook can do it and Twitter can do it. But the government can't do it.
Now, I guess what would that mean then is say that they were to rule in favor of this guy and say that it was protected. What would that mean then for people who admit to crimes on Facebook? Because law enforcement uses a lot of Facebook postings now for those sorts of purposes. So if they're to say that this has been private communications because it's on Facebook, then wouldn't someone's whereabouts, any information that they're delving for that be the same as getting a diary? And if they didn't have a warrant or other things, or if they admitted to a crime, would the argument be, well, that was just my musings, that wasn't actually anything else?
The thing that's interesting about that, he didn't post this on her wall. He posted it on his wall. That's why it's more, they consider this. I don't think so, but they consider this maybe more like a diary. But of course, because it's on his wall, it will show up on her wall or other people who are following her. Maybe, depending on how he set this, everybody.
The way I see it, just don't do Facebook at all. Just get off.
I agree with you. But I do think this will be an interesting case to watch. They've heard oral arguments. You could listen to them.
You know, they sometimes bring these things in, they listen for a minute, and they kick it back. So we're not going to deal with this.
Well, they accepted the case, and that's the question: is why did they accept the case? They must have thought there was something worth talking about.
What's the other one?
Internet shopping. So Colorado decided that they could collect sales taxes on out-of-state purchases. This is what they said. Colorado in 2010 enacted a law that required out-of-state merchants to report transactions to their customers and to state tax authorities. So right now, the way it works, if a company doesn't do business in that state, they don't have some physical presence, then they don't have to collect taxes. You still owe taxes. In fact, here in the state of California, they ask you on your state form.
I pay them.
Yeah. They say, did you buy anything on online and not pay sales taxes? If so,
when I'm on Amazon buying stuff, it usually shows up right there as I pay.
Well, Amazon does collect it now. Remember what happened was Amazon said, we're not going to collect. Then the state turned around and said, well, you do business in California because you have associates, Amazon associates.
Right.
So Amazon cut off the associates, taking money out of a lot of people's pockets. That put pressure on the state to back down. They went back and forth, and finally there was a negotiated agreement in which Amazon said, all right, we'll start collecting sales taxes. I think it's next year.
So I'm wondering.
By the way, that's good for Amazon because now they're building a fulfillment center in California.
I thought it was going to be in Nevada.
They have one in Nevada right now, and that's why they had it in Nevada to service California. But now they can put service centers all over California because they are finally collecting sales tax. Colorado didn't say we're going to collect this tax, but we are going to require that these out-of-state merchants report to us so that we can go back. Apparently, it's the only state that does that.
So I'm doing business in Washington State. I'm paying my taxes. I'm doing all these things. And Colorado is going to tax me, even though I get no services from Colorado whatsoever, but they're going to tax me. This is taxation without representation. It's the founding problem with the entire system. I've got no representation in Colorado, yet I'm being taxed by these guys.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think it's if you live in Colorado and you buy something online from a merchant that doesn't do business in Colorado, the merchant will be required to tell Colorado so that they can send you a bill.
And actually, several states have laws like that.
Well, actually, Washington State has
Texas, but no one does it.
No, but you're right. In fact, that's the joke of it. Washington State has the same kind of arrangement.
Right.
They never collected. You guys show up and you're supposed to give them some money, and here's your stuff.
In fact, I think in Texas, it's up to the consumer to report the purchases.
Well, that's California too.
California as well.
Yeah.
So Colorado is going to say, "Hey, we already know. We're just going to send you a bill." Anyway, the Supreme Court's going to take a look at that, and we shall see.
Yeah, that'll actually be the interesting case.
Yeah.
You know, in the budget agreement that was just passed, there is an extension of the ban on federal internet taxes, so consumer taxes.
Was there on this new budget?
Yeah. So I think it's through October of 2015.
I'm again it.
No,
I think the internet should. I don't see why an internet should not have to be as responsible for sales taxes as a brick and mortar entity.
I have a business in Washington State, and you're living in California, and you want one of my products, so I ship it to you.
Yeah.
And you want to pay taxes for it?
I don't want to, but I'm just saying.
But I don't have a presence. I have no presence. I'm not getting any of the benefits of the tax. Taxes are to benefit from tax. I run a company in Petaluma, and I have to tax everybody because Petaluma's got goods and services and sewers, and it gives me all these benefits of paying the taxes.
You're just collecting the tax. Because
I know, but it's
a tax on me. I'm getting the benefit, and you're collecting it and paying it to the state on my behalf.
Somebody's benefiting.
Thank you. Yeah, the state is, because I live in the state.
Well, I know, but you're benefiting too, because the state gives you goods and services. They put sewers into.
You're just collecting. You're not keeping it. You're collecting the tax and passing it on to the state.
It's a pain in the ass. I have to collect taxes for all these different.
Oh, come on, that's what you have computers for. That's the argument Amazon uses. There's too many tax jurisdictions. There's no way we could figure that out. But that's BS. Of course they could figure that out. That's what computers are for. It's a trivial calculation.
Right.
And
what county are you in? Okay,
then fine. Then what do I have to do? I have to send out 48 checks to all the different states? Bull. This is anti-business. This is just you and your anti-business attitude.
Why should the internet be exempt from taxation when every other brick and mortar isn't?
Well, because every mail order company for the last 100 years has never paid taxes out of state. It's just the way it goes. There's nothing different to me from an internet company and a mail order company. It's the same exact model. Why has it changed all of a sudden? Because of Amazon? Because they happen to be more effective than Sears was in 1919?
Well, the reason it's changed because bookstores are going out of business because Amazon doesn't have to collect tax.
Bookstores are not going out of business because of the tax. Bookstores are going out of business for a myriad of reasons, and tax is not one of them.
Tax is one of them, but you're right.
I don't believe so.
Well, it's what gave Amazon a big lead because they don't have to. That's in the right here. That's something like 10% less that they can charge. So I'm always going to go to Amazon to buy a book, right? Anyway,
Dvorak's living in 1976.
Well, I understood when the internet was brand new, we kind of have to foster it. Actually, I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other, but I just thought
you like to argue.
I thought I would bring somebody has to represent the other side.
The bad side.
The brick and mortar side.
I said, I see. The 50 states. I said 48 states. That's funny.
Did you say 48?
Yeah, I did.
Well, you know, this Hawaii and Alaska, they're so new.
Newbies.
It's hard to keep track of them, frankly.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, but you're saying, Dwight, that the new tax deal they made, the $1.1 trillion tax deal,
extends that ban. Correct.
So you win, John.
Oh,
for now
there was no battle.
Now,
what was the score? I didn't get it.
You win. It means that the bookstore, your little independent bookstore in Port Angeles, is going away.
No, they're thriving. Compete. They're thriving.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah.
What are they doing that's making them thrive?
They got all kinds of screwball stuff you can buy.
Screwball stuff you can buy. That's the trick. By the way, independent bookstores, if you're interested, how do you stay in business? Screwball stuff you can buy. That's the trick.
Yep.
That's the trick. All right, let's take a break. Come back. We have a final segment. Great cast here. I'd like to know what you think, folks at home. You are internet users. Is it unfair that internet companies should be able to skirt tax rules just because they're on the internet?
They're not skirting them.
If they're doing business in the state, they should have to collect taxes. They're doing business in the state.
No, they're not.
But people will always answer that question out of self-interest because they don't want to pay them.
Who wants taxes? Who is for taxes? This always kills me.
I'm for
we
fairness.
want more taxes.
I'm for fairness.
How about I got fair for you?
Okay.
Give Macy's no taxes. End state sales tax, which is the case in in Oregon and I think New Hampshire. There's no state sales tax. Make it universal. That would be fair.
What do you mean make what? Like a VAT? Like a VAT?
There's no, I don't want VAT. I don't want tax.
No sales tax at all.
Right. You got it.
In fact, let's not pay any income taxes. Let's not pay any gas taxes. Let's forget tax. Why should we pay? What did government ever do for us?
I'm telling you the way it should be. You should maximize property taxes as a wealth tax, which would be the fairest thing for everyone to pay. You have a lot of, because right now it's set up so income tax takes people from, it makes them so they can't accumulate wealth. So you tax them for income. Most of the people at the high end, they're always complaining about this.
So raise capital gains and property taxes?
No, create a wealth tax mechanism like in Switzerland, an extremely wealthy country where everybody benefits, and just charge people a certain percentage of their wealth. It's a small number.
So the more time you spend in Second Life...
And by the way, guys like Buffett and Gates, I want to be taxed more. This would tax them more. This is perfect.
All right. I want to hear more about this. I like it. But first, let's talk about building your wealth so you can get taxed more with personal capital. Personal capital actually is a great tool. You got a plan for your future. Young Christina Warren sitting there playing your games. I hope you're thinking about the day you retire, because me and Dvorak, we are. Of course, we're just around the corner. It's probably too late for us to plan for retirement.
No, you got to work till you drop. That's the way I see it.
If you don't want to work till you drop, you should find out what's happening to your money right now. And I've got a free, secure tool for you that I love. I've been using for a couple of years. Personal Capital. It lets you keep track of what you've got, your stocks, your 401k, your bank accounts, your charge accounts, your mortgage. Helps you budget. It puts it all on a single page so you can see exactly what your money's doing. It also could see if you're paying too much in fees or in management costs, all on one single screen on your computer, your phone, your tablet. They even have an award-winning Android Wear app so I can get alerts when my money ain't doing what it ought to do. Gives you relevant and timely updates on your finances wherever and whenever I need it. Personal Capital, they'll show you how much you're overpaying in fees and how to reduce those fees. You're going to get tailored advice on optimizing your investment. Their calculators will help you make sure you've got everything done just so. And it's easy. Why wait? Signing up just takes a minute. It'll pay big dividends. Personalcapital.com/twit. Wealth management for the digital age. They well, I can go on and on. It's really an interesting story. People in our demographic, there's two ways to go. Some people, the old school way, you'd hire a broker and manage your investments and stuff. You'd pay them a fee. Maybe they were making a little extra on the side from the stocks they're selling. You don't know if their advice is good. And then there's people like me who said, no, I can do it all myself. I'm going to use an online broker, and I'm going to do my own investment. But then you forget, you don't rebalance, you don't pay any attention to it.
Yeah, you're not a pro. You're not sitting there working on that 24/7.
But it's easy if you have the information in front of you, and they really make it easy for you. Personalcapital.com/twit. Just try it. It's free. What do you got to lose? Personalcapital.com/twit. Pirate Bay. Swedish police raided and closed down the Pirate Bay site. It's offline. The founder of Pirate Bay was doing jail time. I don't know if it's the same group, but there is. It's the same problem, which is that the folks in charge of motion pictures and music talked the local police, the Stockholm police, to shut them down. And if you go there right now, they're offline. So is superbay.org, their forum site, bayimage.com, pastebay.net. According to the police, the raid targeted a data center built into a mountain. I don't know what there's to say about that.
No, not much, apparently.
Hunt has resurrected him. They brought him back.
Is it back now?
Form of fashion. Yeah, apparently.
You can't kill him.
I think they had a lot of mirrors, and I think Isa Hunt picked one of them up.
Awesome. Piracy lives.
So, Leah, can we talk about this Comcast lawsuit?
This is a story you had in Houston.
Well, initially it was from a site called Courthouse News, and I think that's out of San Francisco. And a while back, Comcast turned on public Wi-Fi hotspots in its customers' routers and the routers that they rent to them.
Oh, yeah, this
and
story.
it creates an Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot that any other Comcast customer can connect to, or you can buy a day pass.
In fact, as I wander around, I'm an Xfinity guy. I have a Comcast at home. As I wander around, I can see open Wi-Fi access spots everywhere.
Right, and they're from residential routers. Comcast says that it's a separate network. It may come through your router, but it has its own channels, bonded channels, and a different Wi-Fi signal. And so in theory, it is secure. But this lawsuit basically said because Comcast didn't get permission to do this first, you have to. It's opt out. It's opt out. You're automatically opted in. That it's essentially a violation of the contract between Comcast and its customers, and so they have filed this lawsuit against them.
How does it work?
Well, when it only works if you're using a Comcast Wi-Fi router.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And when you install, if you use your own Wi-Fi router, nothing. But if you install the Comcast Wi-Fi router, and most people do because it comes with a service.
Yeah, but you have to pay a monthly fee to have that. That's dumb.
But it comes. Right. The modem and the router are built into one device. I don't use it. I use a airport router. I don't have this problem. But if you do, by default, unless you go to the Comcast site and turn it off, it opens up two networks, yours and a public network. And anybody who is a Comcast customer, there's actually an app you can put on your phone that'll say, oh, there's one nearby. Once you log into one, by the way, they're all available to you. They're all open to you, and you can use them. And it really kind of makes this great mesh of Wi-Fi. If you go to San Francisco, where the plaintiffs are in this case, you can pretty much go anywhere in the city and be online.
The idea behind this was ultimately Comcast wants to build a telephone network, Wi-Fi telephony network where you could essentially roam and be able to connect, and this way they could compete with somebody like AT&T. And that's also another issue in the lawsuit, saying that essentially they're profiting off of the ability of customers to have these in their homes. What's interesting is that in Houston, when they turned this on, it was about 150,000 customers had it here. They said that there would be that many hotspots. It has continued to be of high interest here and nationally. The blog posts that I wrote on it, including one that tells you how to turn it off and how to set up your own router, are easily, on any given day, the most viewed thing on my blog. They get about 2,000 page views every day each. And it's been a while since they were up. So they're doing, there's still a lot of interest in this. A lot of people are still pretty upset about it.
The plaintiffs in this case say that it's a power wasting. That's a good point. We have to pay for the power. I mean, it's probably a few cents, but we're paying for that.
Oh, my God.
Internet clogging, and Comcast disputes that, saying, well, it's not using your bandwidth. It's privacy threatening. That's an interesting point. Network of public Wi-Fi hotspots. The plaintiffs say Comcast is exploiting them for profit. And I have to agree with that.
Have you looked at their bills?
I know. I'm paying them, and then they're using me.
Well, no, I'm talking about the regular bills. It's
happy.
Exploiting you for profit. That's the idea. That's what they're in business for.
I hate Comcast so much.
You know what I don't like about Comcast is ever since they had Comcast Business show up, I get bandwidth that's pure crap. And I have been posting this on Twitter.
That's why I switched to Comcast Business. But then
you have to, because you get crap
I know,
otherwise.
and I thought, oh, well, they'll just turn off my home internet, but they didn't. That's a separate division. So now, and I'm terrified of it.
Wait a minute. What are you telling me?
I ordered
Didn't you
business.
cancel the other one?
And I'm going to cancel it, but it's a separate thing. It's not related to the Comcast business.
Oh, heaven forbid
so
that they operate together.
Two connections. Though they took the router back.
Oh, I already turned my router and I bought my own.
They took the consumer router back. Well, actually, I was using my own, right? So whatever.
Okay.
Actually, that's right. So they did not take it back. But I am so beaten and bloodied by Comcast. I don't want to call them and say, "Can I turn off my internet?" Because I know they'll screw with me. They'll turn off my TV. They'll turn off my business. They'll turn off all the stuff, and they'll say, "Oh, what do you mean? Oh, you said turn off." No, I just want to turn off. Well, let me give you our call center in the Philippines.
That's a triple play thing. You're not going to call.
I spent an hour and a half 2 nights ago.
Here we go.
On a chat with a Comcast representative.
Did you record it?
I did, but
record them.
You know what? These guys are so horrible. I
AT&T is worse.
I pay for Showtime and HBO. I want to watch it on demand. I can do that on my TiVo with my cable card, but the fancy Dan X1 Comcast box says you're not subscribing to HBO or Showtime, so you can't watch this. So I called them up and said this, and here's the error code. The error code, by the way, clearly it's a 901F error code. If you look on Comcast site, they said, oh yes, that's a billing error. Nevertheless, the rep insisted it was because my connection was weak. She had me running all over the house, turning on all the TVs. You were there.
Just giving you the
turning all the
runaround.
TVs.
This is all a scam.
She said,
you can
I
have
sent
a
a
drink.
super high quality signal now. Try it out. 4 times I tried it. Same problem. She said, and by the way, at the beginning of the call, the first thing they say is, now a little later on, I would like to take a look at your bill and see if I can save you money. Which means, of course, subscribe you to 14 other Comcast services you don't want. But first, let's help you with this. An hour and a half later,
nothing.
She says, well, I think a technician has to come out to your house now.
They don't do anything.
And I told her, no, it's 901F. It's a billing error. Would you please look at the billing? I said, can I have Tier 2 support? Nothing. They were going to roll a technician. I said, don't bother. I said, if the technician comes, they're going to take the box with them because I quit. Except I realized I can't quit because there's no one else.
Yeah, it's a scam. Have another drink.
I gave her the link to their own page that says a billing error. I gave them a link to the forum comments that said they keep trying to send us technicians.
Are you sure that
when I got the billing
reset the
department,
modem?
they fixed it.
Reset the modem.
I reset the modem.
Reset the modem.
Well, you have to go through this notebook that this nitwit has before. But I thought maybe at the end, if I sit here for an hour and a half and go through all of this,
laughs on you.
She'll finally check the billing code and fix it. And no, she won't. We have to send a technician.
She just wants to send out a technician, and the technician is going to go, oh, we can't do anything about this because it's a billing code.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly what will happen. Don't you?
That's why I'm paying 2 internets. I don't want to talk to them.
And the technician will say, why didn't you tell him it was a billing error?
You'll go,
I did.
Have you tried to talk to your employee? Exactly.
The technician.
That's what the tech will say.
I know the technician can't fix it because we've talked to Comcast technicians. They say, you understand, it's different computer systems. They don't even know who we are. We don't know who they are.
Sure.
It's all these different systems.
Leo, and half the time the technicians don't even are contractors. They don't even work for Comcast.
They don't work for Comcast. They're just contractors.
So Leo, when you call them, here's what you do. When you get to the automated tree that has 700 different choices, choose billing and talk to the billing people.
That's what I'm going to do next time. But I have
to billing.
I can only talk to Comcast once every 4 years. My doctor says it's bad for my heart. So I have to
pills
wait.
You can take for that.
I have to wait 3 months.
Have a couple of shots of whiskey.
Also, keep in mind, Leo, that if they come into your house often, you end up paying for the visit. So, just saying. So that insult to injury, you're going to pay for this.
That'll dissuade you from bringing them over to tell you that
Leo,
they can't do anything.
Sorry I brought it up.
901F, folks. No, you know what? It's fine. I'm just not going to watch on demand. It's fine. I'm going to pay for 2 internets. That's fine.
It's not fine.
It's Stockholm syndrome.
You've given in.
Use HBO Go. Just use HBO Go. That's on demand.
But he's paying for the on demand. He should be able to get it from his fancy X1 box. That's the whole point.
He should.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain, Leo.
In the interim,
you've got to fight this, Leo. Don't give in. You're being pushed around by these bullies.
I went to the doctor. He said, "Don't call Comcast." I can't help it, Doc.
Have you not complained on Twitter? When I complain on Twitter, then I think it
no, that used to work.
It used to work. There's a new thing now.
I agree.
The Comcast. I've had this happen. The Comcast executive office calls you. And their total goal is not to fix the problem, but to get you to stop tweeting about it.
Right.
Shut up, right?
Yeah.
They basically browbeat you into shutting up. They don't want to fix the problem. I wish why isn't there competition? Why?
You know why?
You don't have
because nobody has enforced antitrust laws for the last 30 years.
Yep.
Leo, you don't have Uverse in Petaluma?
I don't like Uverse. That's worse.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's not even real.
Yeah, Uverse is horrible.
It's competition.
It's kind of competition.
I hear good things about the Verizon fiber.
I don't have Verizon. I mean, it's either AT&T or Comcast or go home.
Right. Fios is great if you can get it. The Uverse is awful. Comcast is good. Where I live, I can only have Cablevision, or if I were to somehow illegally take over the basement, I could probably get Fios. But
isn't Cablevision good? They're supposed to be pretty.
They are.
They're smart.
They are. They're smart. They're good. They actually will let me run a server. They actually let me probably they let me run a server out of our on our plan. Like actually, like that was part of the sales pitch. It was like, oh, and you can run your own DNS server. It's like awesome. So no, they're pretty good. I mean,
they'll be bought out. They're doomed.
Ralph Baer, the inventor of the first home video game system, has passed at the age of 92.
What was the first home video game system? I thought it was Pong.
He sold it to Magnavox. Remember the Odyssey?
I thought that it was after Pong.
No, and actually Pong, there was a big lawsuit that Pong actually kind of basically copied the tabletop game that he created for the Odyssey.
In 1971, he was working for a company called Sanders Associates in Nashua, New Hampshire, filed the first video game patent. He actually was an engineer who figured out how to put little dots on a standard analog television screen. He got the patent in April 1973, licensed it to Magnavox, which began selling it as the Odyssey. The Odyssey, I don't know if you remember the Odyssey. That was the one that had colored overlays that you'd put on the screen to give the game color.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't support color. You'd also get a deck of playing cards, poker chips, and a pair of dice. So it was a good deal. 40 transistors, 40 diodes. Now, I have to say, I don't know Ralph, and I didn't really, there it is, I didn't know the history of this, but I do know that he spent a lot of his later years suing the hell out of people. Atari came out with Pong shortly after Odyssey sued. Atari settled for $700,000, becoming their second licensee. Over the next 20 years, Magnavox sued dozens more companies, winning more than $100 million, and of course, Baer often testified. So, but there you go. Wow. 92 years old.
Now it shows you that game playing makes you live long.
Long. Your husband is going to do this for a long, long time.
Yes.
That's cool, and I will too. I just hope that it's for better games. My problem isn't him playing the game, it's the game he's playing.
It's just a crappy game. Yeah.
Exactly.
Is that the game you're showing the game he's playing right now? Is that Second Life?
That's it. There it is. Bonk, 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 bonk.
It was amazing. He developed his first prototype for this in 1968, I think.
Wow. Neat story.
He had the idea in 66, and he had the first working prototype, the brown box, in 68.
We had one of these. My family had one.
You had an Odyssey?
Yeah, had a Magnavox Odyssey.
Were you an adult?
No, I was not 92. No, I was a teenager. My parents bought it. It was great.
Did you play a lot of games on the Odyssey?
I did.
Wow.
I played the one game. I didn't know if there were any others. We certainly had, we certainly got the others as they came up. But yeah, I love this.
And HBO is going to go ahead. We've heard rumors, but they're going to go ahead with streaming content on the internet. However, a little bit of a slap in the face for their former CTO, who had created a streaming video office in Seattle. They hired 55 people, many of them his ex-colleagues from Microsoft. HBO was rumored to have spent as much as $100 million a year on this. Otto Berkes, the CTO, quit when he learned that HBO was going to go to Major League Baseball for the streaming technology for their new
Isn't that
website.
Silverlight?
Oh, I hope not.
No.
Oh, my God, I
thought
hope
Major
not.
League Baseball was Silverlight.
MLB works well.
It does. It works
Silverlight works well if you get it.
It can't be Silverlight because it's on the iPad, it's on the iPhone, it's on everything, it's on every platform.
Well, I mean, Silverlight is just the front end. I mean, at this point, even Netflix is now HTML5. Silverlight's being deprecated anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, MLB works really well. And I guess from what I understand, the CTO, he was building out his own technology, and they've done pretty well. I mean, HBO's had some, bandwidth problems after some Game of Thrones episodes, but they've done fairly well with keeping up the demand. But I guess internally they looked at it and said, if we have this pure online only play with live stuff, we're not convinced that we'll be able to support the number of concurrent users, and MLB has proven that they can do it really well on lots of other devices in lots of different markets. So I mean, it probably does make more sense for them to just use proven technology, but it was an affront to the CTO, so he's gone now.
Quit, yeah.
But it's not clear what's going to happen with the original HBO Go with this either, right? It's that
HBO Go uses the old technology, non-MLB.
Right,
But I think what they're saying basically is we're going to stop using this HBO Go stuff.
Yeah, they'll probably shift over. I mean, and yeah, it's not clear yet if it's going to basically be, if the streaming thing is going to basically be HBO Go plus live stuff, or if it's going to be just a standalone property, if it's going to have, what the price point is going to be. I still say, I'm predicting $20 a month is what they're going to charge, and I stand by that.
And will it
steep.
Will it require a cable
steep.
company subscription?
No,
not at
that's the whole
$20.
thing.
It better not.
Yeah.
No, well, and that's the whole reason that I think they're going to charge $20 is because at this point they get so much money from the cable companies who are offering it as part of tie-in deals, and they get so much, free promotion with that they will probably offer, standalone saying, hey, you don't have to have a cable subscription, you can just subscribe to HBO, but they're going to charge $20 a month. Yeah. As a way to probably A, appease the cable companies, and B, frankly make a similar amount of profit that they're getting from the cable subs. If they do it at $10 a month, it'd be cheaper for me to subscribe to HBO without having to detach to my cable than it would be to pay the $15 or whatever it is that I pay as part of my cable plan. So I can't see them going below what it cost me as part of my cable package.
Apparently, the technology, which was codenamed Maui, will continue to be, well, they're canceling the Maui project. But it sounds like they're going to continue to use it with HBO Go. A large portion of Maui's efforts, they wrote, can be repurposed for HBO Go, a top priority for HBO.
Well, so many people are sharing HBO Go passwords. In fact, I think there's just one HBO Go password and everybody uses it. But it'll be, they'll obviously shut that down. But the question becomes, what happens to cable subscribers who are legitimately using HBO Go to watch, when they're away from home? Will they have to use this new platform as well, or will they be able to continue to use the simple app, that HBO Go?
This could be really good news for me. I'll finally be able to get off of Comcast. Yeah. If I get HBO, that's like 90% of what I care about.
See, the other thing is with HBO is a lot of people subscribe for specific shows that last only a certain amount of time.
Right.
So like like the Newsroom, which is going away, or I'm not a big Game of Thrones fan, but if so, I'd watch it I'd pay that $20 a month for 3 or 4 months, and then stop when there's nothing on that I want to see, and then come back to it later.
Yeah. And that's always been the case. And I mean, actually, that was one of the main reasons they rolled out HBO Go to begin with, was that basically because it has all the past content available too. And so, you have The Sopranos, you have Sex and the City, you have, these classic shows, you have documentaries, you have a huge array of content. And when I interviewed HBO at the time, I guess 2011 when it rolled out, they were very clear. They said, we are willing to give up our home video business in exchange for hoping that we can keep people subscribed longer. Because exactly like you said, Dwight, most people do go in spurts and drops, where they are not consistently subscribed, month over month. And Netflix sees this too, where they see fluctuations in people subscribing. And I think that the goal with HBO Go and whatever this new thing is that by providing not just live access to the content, but also the entire back catalog, they can entice people to continue to be part of it, because they feel like, hey, I never know when I might want to watch, old episodes of something, or I want to catch up on some other content.
We're watching too much television in this country.
I agree. Read a book. Read a book.
Yeah.
A cousin of Jan, our chat room, says, by the way, if you want that HBO Go password that everybody's using, it's in the Sony documents. Just
That's true.
Do a search.
I'm sure there's more than a few in there.
You'll find it. If you have not yet read Christina Warren's great story on the true story of the Jobs movie, it's on Mashable.com. Great work on that. Christina Warren, we love having you on. At @film_girl. Go back to your gaming.
I will.
Kill something for me. I appreciate your being here. It's always great to see you. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to John C. Dvorak. NoAgendaShow.com now twice weekly in the morning.
Exactly. And at The Real Dvorak would be a good thing to get.
Follow him on the Twitter, so that he has some
can't seem
clout.
to get to my 100,000 mark.
If he got enough clout, he could then get the the Comcast executive team to call him.
Actually, I noticed the last time I did my complaining on Twitter, I got all these different, there's like about 10 of these people now. Oh, let me know what's going on. Is it improving? Yeah.
Wait till you have a few more followers. Then they'll just call up and say, stop tweeting. Stop tweeting about it.
They send me a check. I'll stop tweeting.
Send me a check.
Give me a refund.
Yeah.
How about a refund?
A refund?
Yeah, I need a refund. I don't get my full bandwidth. I need
more.
I should get credits. I should get credits. I shouldn't be paying this monthly bill. $100 for 750K.
That's what gets me. I think my Comcast bill's closer to $200 a month. When I added all the stuff I pay.
It's a scam.
I'm paying them to beat me up.
Drunk up there. Apparently it's a drinking game. If I say scam, they have
if it's a scam, they have to drink? Scam.
Yeah, scam.
And then drink, what do they drink? Do they drink a shot every time you say scam?
Yeah.
It's a scam.
Yeah, no, I have to say it.
Scam it. Oh, you have to say it. If I say it, that doesn't count?
Well, they could change the game.
Dwight Silverman's at the Houston Chronicle. blog.cron.com/tech blog. Always great to have you on. I realize you Sunday night you go into work just to do this show.
But I live about 2 miles away from downtown.
Still,
so it's not that big a deal.
That's awfully nice of you.
So, and by the way, John, I'm sorry you're not getting your bandwidth. I pay about $65 a month for Comcast, and I get about 112 megabits down.
Uh-huh.
So,
yeah, thanks. Thanks for telling me that. I really need that information.
You need to move to Texas, where we have, we rely mostly on property taxes, have no sales tax, and everybody's just really happy.
Which is a form of wealth tax, I might add.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. We have a lot of fun every Sunday afternoon. It starts at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 2300 UTC. If you can watch live, I love it because we love having a live audience. You can also visit us in the studio. We have some good people here today. Thank you for joining us. Tickets at twit.tv. We'll put a chair out for you.
Oh, just show up.
Well, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people did show. So you're right. Don't bother. Just show up. I do want you to email us if you want to be here for New Year's Eve because it's going to be crazy on New Year's Eve.
Crazy.
And I hope you're going to come for that.
I may be in Washington State.
3 a.m. New Year's Eve to 3 a.m. New Year's Day. It's a 24-hour marathon, a benefit for UNICEF.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
It's going to be, I'm taking Jerry Lewis's mantle. We're doing it for the kids.
He gave up.
I'm going to wear a black tie, a tuxedo. I'm going to sing You Never Walk Alone. I'm going to do the whole thing.
Yeah, the singing would do. I'm
going to bring in Sammy Davis Jr. It'll be amazing. No, actually, we have bands. We have all sorts of stuff, and they're not telling me everything because they want me to be shocked and surprised. So
why would that be?
Because it's fun.
You may blow up at them. We can't afford this.
What are you talking about? A mechanical bull? Apparently, we're taking over the street. We got a permit. Take over the street. We got a mechanical bull.
Fireworks.
A bounce house, and we're going to set the building on fire at midnight.
Fireworks.
We're going to and we have, by the way, we have people from all over the world. There are 27 time zones in that 24-hour period. And John Slanina tells me I think we have all but 7 or 8 covered.
Which ones are not covered?
We still need Alaska. We still need Jarvis Island.
You got no problem with Alaska.
I know. If you twit.tv/NYE, if you can be our Alaska correspondent. Fiji, Tuvalu, the Marshall Islands, Norfolk
Marshall is going to be a problem.
Thailand, Vietnam. We should have Burma,
Vietnam,
Cocos, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these.
Turkmenistan
you won't get.
We have Afghanistan. We have Iran. We have Moscow. We have Tokyo. But we don't have Alaska.
That makes no sense, Leo. No sense.
That's even one of the 48 states.
Yes, exactly.
So
You'll have it now.
Twit.tv/NYE if you'd like to be a part of that. We've got a great best of planned for you. I thank you, Jason. You worked very hard on that. That'll be aired on December 28th. Our
North Korea needs to be represented. I agree.
Do we have somebody in North Korea?
No, I think it's in some other time zone.
I think we might.
Or to China.
I think, is there somebody named Kim Jong-il?
Kim Jong something?
Kim Jong-un. How do you pronounce Un?
Un.
So that's going to be fun. Make sure you stop by New Year's Eve because, unless you got a date. If you've got a date, it's okay.
Bring her.
Bring her.
Or him.
Yes, exactly.
Tickets
him or
at
her.
twit.tv.
Or him or
Tickets
her
at
or both.
twit.tv because we want to make sure there's enough room. Because the fire marshal.
No.
Fire marshal. No?
$10.
You give them $10 and they go away.
Local guy. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's all it takes.
You just keep a line out and then just keep bringing people in.
Yeah,
blank check.
We're going to have a velvet rope. I'll need a
Have
velvet
a rope.
rope.
Exactly. You just keep the line moving, and then that way, like if you get to the fire capacity, then people will just wait, and they can just wait for one of the time zones, and then you can maybe filter people out.
And you got the whole street. There's no
You know
fire
what we
marshal
don't
in the
have,
street.
Christina? We don't have anybody from Second Life. What time zone?
What time zone is
What time
that?
zone is your husband in?
You guys are going to get me divorced.
He's in the Twilight Zone. It's the Twilight Zone.
You guys are going to get me divorced.
No. But I do have a nice Casper mattress you can sleep on. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Another Twit is in the can.